Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Stan
Stan.
came in at the last second. Yeah.
Excellent.
Stan, does your mic work? Oh, yeah. It sounds
I
like
don't know. Does it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it sounds like it. That's fantastic.
Wow. I'm shocked.
Fantastic. That worked out. That worked out great. So,
I was ready to fucking punch Zuckerberg right in the head if he
Yeah.
didn't get his shit
Yeah.
together.
oh, man.
I'm not restreaming because if it didn't want to restream for me, it kept wanting me to log in even on my main PC. And then when I went back into it to try again, Facebook crashed and I couldn't get the link out of it.
Yeah,
I give up.
I couldn't open the group message beyond like the last message that was sent
Yeah,
earlier
that's why
today.
I sent it like 4 times, like just to make sure that you can
I could see you like you were getting ready to send something and then it would
Yeah.
never come.
but it wouldn't show it. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hey, everybody. So, little behind the scenes technical difficulties today. Fun times. So I added Twitch to the thing. I updated my old Twitch channel and added that. There's nobody watching there. I don't know if we're ever going to get any views there, but we'll see. Some people seem
Twitch?
to get lucky. So on Twitch, yeah.
Oh no, you have to be a female and half naked to get any views on Twitch.
Well, that's
helps.
what I thought. But I figured whatever, I'll add it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we get any views there. See if it
Good luck.
see if it works.
There
But
are lines I will not cross.
hey, Death Angel. So yeah, fun times. How's everybody doing? So yeah, so we added that. We got that. That's fantastic. What else we got? We got so I got some news. So I scheduled Central New York game day for December 12th. And that's on tabletop events, and everything is up. Everything's up for sale. Ticket badges and stuff are up for sale so far. It's $10 to get in. It's just going to be a one day convention. I'll put the link up for that in a bit because I don't have that ready. What is this? You'll get bots trying to sell views. That's what I get. Oh yeah, okay. Well, maybe. I mean, if that's the case, then I'll not stream Twitch. I mean, that's that'll be that. But.
I mean, you could still stream it. There's no reason not to. You just have to ignore all that garbage that comes in with it.
Listen,
I don't know if we can block them or what.
There are plenty of people that stream on Twitch. And as for when it comes to live streaming, I think Twitch has the potential for way more views than YouTube Live.
Yeah, sure. Especially if you're gaming.
Yeah, here's the thing. Twitch has think of Etsy as that marketplace. Like I there's fees and everything, the bullshit that goes with it, but that the people can find my stuff easily because it's in there. Same with Twitch. You go on that main page of Twitch and you can see what's streaming live and you can sort by whatever. YouTube is just not that friendly when it comes to that.
Yeah, right. You got to be subscribed. Or
if you're subscribed, you're going to see their streaming.
Sure.
But even
then, maybe
even the
not.
notifications don't ever seem to work on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to set up a mod setup to.
So I wouldn't discount Twitch. If you're not gonna work on trying to freaking push it, then, you're not gonna get a lot of views. But I wouldn't say you won't get any.
Well, I think it's just something to try and get it out there. You know what I mean? Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah. So other than that, I posted the link for the game day. So that's going to be December 12th. We already sold a few badges. Cool. That's going to be just a one-day thing. It's just December 12th. It's a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. No vendors, no special guests, just gaming. Obviously, it's geared toward more local players. I don't expect a whole lot of people to come in from out of town, except for you, Vince. I expect you to come down. But no, I mean, whatever. It's just going to be a game. We're just going to see what happens. We're going to see how many people we get. Obviously, I'm not trying to get a ton of people, but just kind of to hang out and game. So, and that's going to be down at Two Cousins Pinball. And they're going to give us a $5 discount for the day on pinball. They're going to open early. Normally they open, I think, at 1. They're going to open at noon now. Maybe it's 2. I don't know. They're going to open at noon, and instead of it being $25, it's going to be $20 for anybody with a badge. So that'll be cool. Fun little, yeah.
Something's going on with your mic there.
Oh,
Roger.
good. It's not me.
Me?
No, yeah, something's up with
Yeah.
Roger's mic.
Oh, geez. Is it
Excellent.
bad?
No, it's fine right now. But when you were just talking, it was like cutting out, getting real muffled.
Oh, boy.
It's fine now.
Did
It's gonna be a technology night.
what's up with your audio? It's your fault, Jeff. Yeah, Roger's underwater. Well, did I get the point across, or did I miss anything?
Oh, you got it.
I mean, with the garbly gook.
Game day, the 12th.
Fantastic. So game day. That's there. So sign up, whatever. If you want to show up. It's $10 to get in. 20 if you want a VIP badge. It just gets you 1 week earlier to jump on the on what games. But that's it. So good times. So there's that. In other news, it's Dan's here. Hi, Dan. It's good to have you. You don't have to yell it though. You can speak softly. It's okay. We got so after the convention, I did a stream. I'm sure everybody saw it with Jason Vey, Matt Tapp, and Todd Ritzema, and they want to make it a regular thing. So we're going to start streaming every other Wednesday, starting July 1st.
Cool.
Talking about some stuff. I believe it's called the show is going to be called Designers and DMs, and we got a whole list of content that they want to talk about and all of that. So
What time?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I believe. See, you got to ask questions that I don't know the answer to. I think 8 o'clock.
Okay, that's doable.
8 o'clock on Wednesdays. I'll have to make sure, but yeah, something like that. So possibly 7, but I think we settled on 8. See, I'm well. I got my things well in order here, so I can't exactly go back and look because it'll pull me out of Restream to look at that. So Dan says hi to everybody. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
So yeah. There goes the neighborhood. Yeah. Oh, it's around your birthday. Great. We can. You can bring cake for everybody. Is that how that?
You don't want to know what the alternative is.
Thanks. What's the alternative? Maybe I don't want to know. Maybe I shouldn't ask that.
Maybe that was only a prison saying. I don't know. But
Yeah.
we'll
I
leave it
definitely
alone.
don't want to know then. I definitely don't want to know. We gotta get past the first 15 minutes, and then and then we won't get demonetized or whatever. But yeah. Dan's coming in. Dan's gonna fly in from the Midwest. So fantastic. Agile's here. Agile, fantastic job with Kickstarter, by the way.
Yeah, 35K or so now.
Is at 36 right now. It's over.
Excellent.
He's over his over the set amount of 32,000. Working on some stretch goals and stuff now, so that'll be fun. But he made his goal, which is fantastic. So congrats to you guys. So that's good. Yeah. Hey, Agile. Fun times. I also had a great conversation today. Well, texting back and forth a little bit. I still got to have a conversation with him, but with Craig Bragg, and he is he's starting a convention in I believe it's just outside or just in Burlington, Ontario, and it's called John Con. That's the link to the Facebook page. Just a small little thing. It's inside St. John's Church, St. John's Anglican Church, I think, in Burlington. He's running it to kind of benefit the church and yeah, he's gonna have some games and stuff. I think he's gonna do like 3 days. It's gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Greg is going. He's gonna run some games and stuff. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be that is November 13th through 15th. It's the same weekend as MEPACon. So which I got to go to MEPACon as opposed to JohnCon for a couple of reasons, but my daughter's into MEPACon. There's some friends of hers there and stuff, and Mike was talking about going. I don't know if that's if you figured all that out yet, or
Yeah,
still
we'll see.
still thinking about it. Yeah.
Still think about it.
So yeah, good times. But yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Agile. Hopefully you hit 40K for all the other systems and rules. Yeah. I think you'll hit 40K. I mean, you're really close. You're 36 something. I think you'll make it. What's a MEPACon? Middle Eastern Pennsylvania convention. It's a game convention. It's I don't know, probably 50%, maybe a little less, 50% board games. Probably half of the RPG stuff is, maybe more than half is Pathfinder Society, Starfinder Society, Adventurers League, and they do like a bunch of miniatures games that I don't know if they're all official or not, but I know there's like a lot of BattleTech and things like that. So, and then the rest of it, I mean, then there are tabletop RPGs. Yeah. Matt's been going longer than I have. So yeah, 400, 500. It's interesting. It seems like it's a smaller con than it actually is, just because, well, I mean, for me anyway, at least, I mean, Jason and I have gone several times, and it definitely seems smaller than 400 to 500 people because, we're probably only associating with a third to half of those people.
Yeah, it's really spread out, which is great.
Yeah, because there's like a whole other room that's got like the 5e and Pathfinder Society stuff going on, and then there's a whole nother room where all like the miniatures gaming and stuff is, and like, so we don't even go in those rooms. Like sometimes we'll buzz by or walk through or something.
Well, I've never been there, but you're not doing it justice by mentioning that stuff, because you got to remember George is there all the time running Castles and Crusades.
Cyrus
is going to go and run his DCC
Sure.
stuff. So you have other stuff other than those modern games too. It's not going to be as much as.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's closer to like if you're going to go for like the OSR stuff or the non 5e games, it feels more like a 200 to 300 person convention.
Yeah.
For that. And no, it's great. Yeah, Matt runs fantastic games down there. That's where we met him. Like Mike was saying, George is down there, and he runs a lot of CNC. No, it's really, really cool stuff. Ed is really great to talk to. Cyrus, like, he runs a lot of DCC stuff. Some of you guys saw him at CNY. So, Chubby, that sounds fantastic. 10 to 12 man con on the beach. Yeah. Con on the beach. You just charge, like $1,000 a piece or something, and then you can rent the space.
I'm just imagining 8 people that have never seen the light of day suddenly bursting into flames on the beach. That's how I see that going. Although I would be happy to attend. Were I considered elite, I don't know if I'm invited or not.
Are you saying we're all like vampires?
No, I'm saying that most of us don't actually go outside very often.
Oh,
yeah.
And that does include me. I spend a lot of time in front of my PC and Xbox.
So MEPA's definitely a good time. Like I said, it acts as if it's a smaller convention than it is, because of the separation. I think they're in a better hotel now than they have been in the past.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I remember Jason and I went, and the hotel was like in rough shape. It was getting bad. Like, we had a problem with the door closing, and like the air conditioner.
The room
was
smelled like ass. It was absolutely
it was
horrible.
terrible. So we got it switched, and then we were kind of like bitching about it, and come to find out the that hotel was actually I don't know if condemned is the right word, but
Yes,
it was
that is
set for
yes.
demolition. It was scheduled for
Yes.
demolition, not like condemned, like nobody could go in here anymore. But yeah, they were tearing it down to build a new one, so that's why everything was falling apart. They didn't want to fix anything. So MEPA moved to I think a better hotel where the large rooms are right next to each other instead of being like down and around the maze, around like the perimeter of the hotel. So no, it's really cool. They got a lot of stuff going on there. And yeah, it's fun. I mean, there's a handful of kids that are there and running around, and yeah, no, it's a good time. So I always love looking at their auction stuff and all of that. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's a good time. So I think that's all I got as far as news and stuff goes. What do you guys got? You guys got anything that's coming up or happenings?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was going to wait. Mike, you have anything? You're up next.
Go ahead. Let me finish painting this first.
Shilling for Chubby, since he's there, my player's companion for Shadow Dark came in the mail yesterday. Very happy about that. We took a break from Shadow Dark this weekend to play Blacklight. No complaints whatsoever because I love it. But we're going back to Shadow Dark next week. Now I've got my player's companion. Happy camper. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Fun times.
Man.
Fun times. Man, when did you order the player's companion?
Oh, a month ago.
I mean, it had to
3
be.
weeks. Yeah, it was a.
Is that it? Just a few weeks?
I would have to check, man. It's POD, so
No,
yeah.
I know. That's what I was wondering because I think the last time I pulled it out physically was like to create characters. It was probably like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and I don't remember why I waited. I think Chubby had talked about he was doing an edit. He was possibly reloading. I could be misquoting him. He's in the chat. He can verify that. But I waited for some reason. Then I was like, I don't know why I'm even waiting for this. So I just went ahead and ordered it because I knew that I wanted it. I wanted it regardless.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's good. It's good stuff. And Chubby's got that hack where if you order five of stuff, they'll ship it to you right away.
I order one at a time. I already have loads of stuff on my shelf that I'm never going to get to use. So I don't need to order 5 more I'm not going to use.
Yeah, I think some of the printers that they're used, like other printers, have started to open up and whatnot, and I think that's kind of taken some of the load off of that stuff. So, yeah, mine is somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know where my AD&D Lost Lore book is.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you I had more exciting stuff, but I really don't. It's been a pretty quiet week.
Yeah.
Just focus on work, really.
I bought and got a bunch of stuff from the convention, and I still haven't, unpacked it. I'm still I do have this. This is cool. This is that. It's that D100 that
D100.
That Joe Block had. These are like solid steel. I'd like to say brass, but I don't know. It seems like it's coated or something, but it's solid. It's heavy. I don't know what it weighs. I should weigh it, but it's heavy. So that's cool. Stan, how about you? What'd you get, or what you been up to?
Not a lot. I should have grabbed it. My wife actually got me for Father's Day. She got me a T-shirt and a nice sweatshirt with my logo on it. I didn't have anything like that. So she.
I think I saw those pics on Facebook.
Yeah, I did post some, so that was pretty cool to have. And I haven't had to get anything because I brought home so much stuff from the con. I haven't even gone through it all. Dear God. Stacked up next to me.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, look at this. The Agile is shilling for us now. Look at that. Attention. We need some likes and subs for this channel. Yeah, I gotta get ahead of Jeff. I don't know what happened. I got like a dozen subs below Jeff now. So yeah, we got to get that back up. Mike, how about you? You
All right, so yeah, I got a little out of my wheelhouse this week. I'm trying something completely new. Um, it started with you and I talking about it.
yeah,
The idea of trying to bring some new types of games to the convention. Whether or not I'm going to be the one to do it remains to be seen. We'll see. I'm setting it all up. I'm going to run it for my group. My family wants to run it. And I'm thinking we might see a preview of it at game day. So we'll start right here with Gaslands Refueled. I know third edition's in beta. It's not coming out till next year. It changes a few of the rules, gets rid of skid dice and some other stuff. I'm not gonna. It doesn't concern me for what I'm doing. So you guys have seen my post-apocalyptic stuff, which means I scale it down to 70%. It's perfect for Gaslands, but that's not what I'm going to run right away. So Mario Kart.
cool.
I've been printing and painting all week for it. Got my chops that I just did today. I got to attach the chains to them. I'm sitting here painting the little question mark boxes while we're on stream. I've got coins. I've got green and red shells. I've got bananas. And because I can't do anything half-assed as of today, I have 37 different variations of carts that I've picked up this week alone. It's been a thing for me and my son. Run around to all these stores and check them and find the ones we don't have. And they're going to work out nice because all the standard carts, which is like half of them, they all have the same cart. I'm going to do 2 different modes with it. I'm going to do a race mode, obviously. You don't have hull damage. You don't take damage like that. You can't get killed. In the race mode, if you get hit by a shell or something, it spins you out and faces you some other direction and whatnot, just like in the game. And in I'm going to also do battle mode. Battle mode, you're going to have, so I will be making balloons for it, and each cart will have 3 balloons suspended over it. I'm going to put them out with magnets. And when you get hit, you lose a balloon, just like you do in the battle mode. And we're going to throw a little twist into it that if you die, if you lose all 3 balloons in a con game early, it's not the end of your game, because then you're going to turn into a rolling bomb. And then that rolling bomb has no special stats, has no weapon attacks, but he's basically like a suicide bomber, and you can race around trying to hit other players with it until you explode, and then you're done. But it gives like an extra chance for people to get eliminated early. And there'll probably be a cutoff. I mean, if it's like at the, if you're running a 4-hour con game and you're at the 3-hour mark, probably be anybody that dies at that point is out. It'd probably be within the first 2 hours or something like that. So, yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Lots of printing stuff. I got the whole board to do up. It's going to be, I think, a 4-foot by 4-foot board for battle mode and a 4x6 board for race mode. And I'd like to run both.
Yeah, I think the book even for battle mode, I think it's in a regular Gaslands says 3x3, which is kind of small, I think, especially if you're going to have like 6 people.
Yeah, so for a con game, you can go up to 8, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can run as many as you want.
So you and I have talked with the guys at the Skirmishers Guild and tried to get them out, and they've been busy and didn't want to commit to it. But I will say that Stefan, the guy that runs it, has been very helpful. I told him what I was interested in doing, and he gave me his homebrew rules that he uses for battle mode. He's sent me all kinds of links for stuff to look at and different ideas and whatnot. So, and I don't know. It should be fun. The goal is to bring something different. I thought about doing maybe running Mario Kart and running like Rangers of Shadow Deep to introduce some miniature play to them. I figured Rangers of Shadow Deep because of the fact that it's a co-op game. You're not playing against each other, so
Yeah.
players can get together and, it's a whole story-based co-op game. So
Yeah.
we'll see. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
year.
good time.
It's a year out, and again, I have yet to ever run these, so that's going to be a big deciding factor. If I sit down and run it and I love it, then more to come.
Yeah.
If I find I don't really enjoy running these games, then I'm probably not going to commit to running them at a con. But we'll see. And the other option is I build this board and I do it and I decide I don't want to do it. There's always the option if somebody else wants to run it, I can bring the stuff and,
Sure.
let them run the game. But we'll see. We're a year out. Got plenty of time. I would like to hopefully have a working board and everything to go in December. I mean, the fact that I have most of my shit 3D printed and all these carts, I started this on Friday. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost there, so.
I don't usually half-ass anything. I kind of dive right in, even if it's stupid. So, yes, Edgelord. It is.
Yeah,
for
it's
Gaslands.
Gaslands. Yeah.
So it'll be Mario Kart with Gaslands Light. Like I said, instead of taking real damage and having hull points and stuff, you in race mode you just get, just like in Mario Kart, you get hit, it spins you out, knocks you off a distance, and there's rules for it. If you get hit, then it you randomly roll your direction, and then it moves you in that direction, short distance, and then you roll to see which way you're facing. So it spins you out, it moves you off away, and then faces you in a random direction. Just kind of like the game does.
Normally in Gaslands, the person that goes next gets to face you where whatever direction they want.
And that might be in the rules. I don't remember. I have to look at it. It might be the next person gets to choose the facing.
So
it's always going to be the opposite way.
Well, usually. Or if there's something within,
or face you straight into the hazard.
Or somebody, or so that they're going to ram into somebody else or something. Yeah, there's definitely that. But it's fun. I'm digging the. I mean, I've yet to play it yet, but I played a handful of Gaslands, and I'm digging the third edition beta stuff so far. They did eliminate some stuff. I think it might be too simplified for some people. I think we're going to see a schism like we do from, the OSR and the modern gaming. There's all those people that
you can already
edition type of thing.
You can already see it. Like you asked me about making the new templates, the movement templates.
Yeah,
because they've changed.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Well, I've joined a bunch of Gaslands groups on Facebook, and that was one of the questions today about that. And there were plenty of people that were like, I've already bought 4 sets of these templates for
right, and they're not changing.
Refuel. I'm not changing it. I'm just going to play that. And that's fine.
Sure.
But the nice part is the Mario Kart. It doesn't matter whether it's 2E or 3E because they're simplified rules that don't take advantage of a lot of that.
Sure. The only I will and we'll have to talk about it. I don't know if they use the how it works with rounds. If they're doing a certain, I've seen some of the Mario Kart mods where they still use the your speed that's how many times you get to act basically. So all that's eliminated in third edition now. So.
Right, in those rules for that Stefan gave me for Skirmishers Guild, it's like a 3-page document, and then he's got a little postcard size that he made up. That he prints and has them printed on postcards and puts them in front of everybody's spot at the con, so they have a quick reference.
Yeah.
On those there, for the kart mode where it's just battle mode, there is no speeds. Everybody is 3 speed, 3 whatever, and there's no difference in speed between karts.
Right. But but like usually in Gasland, in Gaslands Reloaded, in the original Gaslands. The faster you're moving, the higher gear that you're in, you get to act in more phases.
Oh, going right.
If you're going speed 5, you get to act in gear phases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get to act 5 times. Where somebody that's in, going speed 3, they only get to act 3 times.
So what my plan was? So if you look, these are the standard carts.
Yeah,
they all have the 2 pipes at the back, and every character has a standard cart, but they all have variations. So these ones are going to be for the balloon battle, so every cart is the same. So there's same speed, same whatever, and they'll all have the balloons. And then you have all the variants. And like I've got like 5 different Marios. You know, they all have different cars. And those ones there will be different. And you know, so when you pick up Bowser or one of them, Donkey Kong, the big guy, they're gonna be, you know, heavy.
Yeah.
They're gonna be heavy. So they're gonna have a higher, I think the heavier guys in Mario Kart have a higher top speed, but they take a long time to get up to
it's
speed.
longer. Yeah.
But if they hit you and bump you, you go flying. You know, they're hard to, you know. And I like that. You know, there's a real difference between the carts in that mode.
Yeah. So
That's what I got nothing else. That's it. That's
yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, no, so we'll talk about that some more and figure it out, and hopefully we can do some announcements and stuff there, and you know, go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, what let me see Thomas, we have stuff come up. Bloodworth, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Stan, I don't know, Mike was having problems adding his too. He's not
Yeah, I gave up. It wouldn't.
on his
Yeah,
either.
it won't. Like on Restream, it shows that I'm connected to YouTube, but on my channel, you can't see it.
Yeah,
I
did
don't
you
know.
add your
It's,
thing up at the top? Did you
Yeah,
add your
oh, yeah.
channel?
Yeah, I have the icon, it shows an icon in the corner that I'm on YouTube, but I am not.
It wouldn't
I think
even
it's
add
just-
mine. It kept telling me I
Yeah,
wasn't.
I could
logged
add
in.
it. Yeah, no, I didn't have any issue with that. I just hit the thing like I normally do, and but because I usually have
Yeah, it doesn't
yours
list
up,
anything on your channel.
Roger, and then I
And then
have
yours,
mine
so
up
you can
because
chat. Yeah,
I can answer both chats, and yeah, mine's not showing at all. But
Yeah,
that's
yours isn't-
it's from my own channel.
yours isn't showing up in the paired
Well,
channel.
all
And
my
I've redone it a few times and still not working, so it's gonna not work tonight.
my 0 viewers are going to be disappointed.
I know.
I got a few guys on mine.
Yeah, Osprey's got a lot of cool stuff. They got a handful of games that I've kind of tried out with just with paper and all that, you know, paper, cardboard shits or what, you know what I mean? Just print out stuff. And it's pretty fun stuff. I mean, they got things for like giant space battles and stuff, and it's pretty cool stuff. So I like a lot of their minis games and all that they come out with. So.
I dug all my stuff out this week to start going through it, like Frostgrave and
Yeah. No, Frostgrave is cool. I mean, I like Rangers of Shadow Deep more than I like Frostgrave, just the theming of it.
yeah.
But
God, this is not a test.
but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I really enjoyed Rangers of Shadow Deep. That should surprise no one.
Yeah. No, it's
I have
really
it. I've
cool.
never played it.
It was a lot of
I
fun.
should play it.
Yeah, it's really fun. Some people can't, like, they don't like the D20 mechanic because you're rolling against a roll, and so it's very swingy. But I mean, I don't like. I think as far as resolution mechanic goes, like, it's not bad. It's quick.
I like that
works fairly well.
You only have X amount of time to get the scenario finished. You know,
Yeah.
rounds are, and
Yeah.
so there's no, I'm going to wander off and go do this. No, you have to maintain mission focus, or you're going to fail every time. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
How long does it usually take, like, for a session?
An hour?
Yeah, it depends. So like the first couple of missions are kind of separated into like 2 parts. So really you could do one of those in like an hour. Some of the larger ones, maybe like 2.5 hours. I mean, there's some with like a lot of combat that I could see that, you know, would take longer, but yeah, usually like each like mission part or whatever, like an hour and a half, if you gotta, you know, explain stuff. That's, you know, so
I got a question for the chat here. So
okay.
who do you guys play any miniature games? Are there games that you really like? You know, if we're going to try and get some games in the future at the convention, I'd like to get games that people, you know, tried and tested that they really like. Yeah, stuff that they'd want to play. I mean, I know if you go to just a miniature convention, you could pretty much bring any game and people are going to want to come up and try it. But at an RPG convention with people that aren't exposed to it, you know, I want to try and find some games that'll fit within the genre. I mean, obviously, part of the reason I chose Mario Kart is because everybody knows Mario Kart, and you had quite a bit of kids, teenagers.
No, it's fun, and the kids will
And-
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's going to draw people in when they see the table with all the Mario Kart themed table
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the characters and all that. But I'd like to do something else. That's why I said maybe Rangers of Shadow Deep. But I'm not positive that having a co-op game like that is the best way to introduce people at a con.
No,
For
I think it
instance,
is.
like Frostgrave.
I don't think Frostgrave. I think Rangers of Shadow Deep is a better game to introduce people to, especially at an RPG con, because the game runs like an RPG.
Yes.
You're not pulling people in and saying, "Hey, this is a typical miniature skirmish game. You're going against people and all that." People like that turn people off. You run it like an RPG and say, "Hey, this is Rangers of Shadow Deep. You're all on the same side. You're trying to do a goal. You're trying to get through the forest and defeat the gnolls or get to this thing and rescue this person and get to this point before the gnolls take over or whatever." Like, I think it sounds like you're playing D&D with miniatures.
Okay.
Like
I did play D&D.
it's close. No. But I mean, it's close to that.
Just kidding.
It's closer to that than like switching over to a skirmish game.
Yeah, but you play with painted miniatures, Stan.
Oh, that's true.
Some of us are heathens.
Elitist
Yeah.
snob. How dare you.
So I mean,
some of you are
Off-Grid
heretics.
Gamer, he's supposedly coming to CNY next year. He's got he says Frostgrave is awesome. Agile Monk says he loves Rangers of Shadow Deep, so that's cool. Agile had a
Big
question
one,
for us. I know Stan already answered it, but in chat. But Agile wants to know if we've ever written an adventure for your own game or publication. I mean, I've written a lot of stuff, but I mean, it's not for publication.
Yeah, I mean, I've written a shit ton of adventures for my own game, but I've never published any of them.
Yeah. So, Stan, you said you've written some stuff. Is it similar, or do you have something that you're going to publish?
I mean, nothing. I mean, I have something. I mean, that in mind that I want to like flesh out to publish, but maybe at some
Yeah.
point. All my
Well, Agile's here to help. Jason, how about you? Have you got anything written for publication?
Andy, here's your long answer that you've been waiting for. I read the question a little bit differently than you did. I read it as two questions with smushed together.
Okay.
I like most DMs, when I started running, I used published modules, and I made the mistake that all kids make. Reading the text that isn't meant to be read out loud, sticking to the text box and nothing else, and anything outside the text box was like, oh God, what do I do with this? As I got older, I got more flexible, and I just put the modules away. I do not like modules. I like having them. I read them. There's some good ideas in them. A lot of Gary's stuff used to irritate the hell out of me with his incredibly obtuse traps and quizzes, and I was like, I'm 14. I don't have the mind of a 35-year-old that's been doing this his whole life. And so those things kind of pissed me off. So I just started running my own stuff, making my own, writing my own stuff down. So when I run, which I don't do very often anymore, I only write my own things. However, more often than not, I run it off the top of my head. I did that at CNY, and I was really nervous the first 15 minutes because I started thinking, oh, I am going to dork this up. This is going to be terrible. Everybody's looking at me. Oh, mother of God, what do I do? But then I got out of my own head, and the game went great. As far as publishing, I have not talked to anybody about this, but I'm in the middle of writing a Western RPG. It'll be basically using Shadow Dark rules. I kind of got inspired by Chubby and Vic,
Nice.
with Blacklight and all of Chubby's stuff. I was like, God, there's no Shadow Dark Western out there, and I really like Westerns, and I've got a dozen of them sitting on my shelf. But I read through all these Westerns. Like right now, I'm looking at Tales of the Old West. I'm thinking about running that next year at CNY, and I'm reading it, and I like it. But there are a lot of things in it that I do not like. So I'm really I want a Western that I can go out and have fun with and not worry about off the wall rolls and weird dice pools and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day. I really don't. And it might not. I tend to get very, my interest waxes and wanes. And when I'm excited about something, I get into a writing fury and then I'll set it down. And the next morning, I will have completely forgotten about it. I wrote a massive Greek campaign that took me about 2 years to write. And man, I mean, I had all the details out. I was ready to go. And then one of the members of my gaming group committed suicide, unfortunately. And that completely shattered the group. We didn't play anymore after that for obvious reasons. And so my Greek campaign got put on ice. I've never looked at it again. So whether or not my Western Shadow Dark thing will ever see the light of day, I don't know. But if it does, you guys will be the first to know. So
Yeah,
there you go, Andy. Andy, there's your long story, buddy. It's been a while. I've been
Cool.
trying.
So tickets for CNY 3. I'm thinking September, probably. I really look. I know people are on me. You're not the first person to say something like people message me and say, "Oh, when are tickets going on sale? We want to buy tickets. We want to buy them. We want to buy them." Look, I've said this before. I don't know if it's been on stream. I've said this in public a lot. It kind of annoys me. Like I get it, right? Like the time to catch people to buy the ticket is at that year, right? Like at the previous year. Like I get it, right? When they walk in the door, right? Because they're there, you got their attention, they're standing in front of you. But man, it just irks me for some reason when I go to a convention and I'm checking in and they're like, "Hey, do you want to buy a ticket for next year?" And I'm like, I don't even know if I enjoyed this year yet. Like, back up a minute.
MEPA does that, and it does.
There's several that do it, and and it's like I get it, right? Like, that's the time when they're in front of you. But man, like, I don't know. I want to give people time to breathe, and there's a handful of other conventions, like as soon as it ends, they're spamming the emails and the Facebook and like everything else. It's year round. And I really don't want to do that. And will that hurt my sales? Like maybe, but do I feel better about myself as a human being? Like
maybe.
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't have feelings. But no, I mean, seriously, like I really don't want to be that, that guy that's just like always push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I mean, I feel that I do that enough. Like I don't want to keep pestering people and doing that,
On the other hand, we do appreciate the enthusiasm.
Yeah. So probably September. So Stan, get with Agile. Maybe he can help you publish that stuff, or or Jason, you too, if you.
May I address a comment by Jeff? Because I was talking and I wasn't seeing it. I can look at it. It says, I appreciate puzzles and traps. Exploration is my favorite part of the game. I do too, as Roger can tell you. I've referenced this one a couple of times. Roger ran us through a Dragonbane. In fact, I think it was a module. I think it was a starter set. And it was almost entirely puzzle, talk focused. And I had a blast with that. I like puzzles. I like traps. But if I present a puzzle to the table and all I get back after a couple of minutes is 6 empty stares, that puzzle doesn't belong in my game. That's not fun for anybody. It just makes everybody feel dumb. So I like puzzles. If I look at it for a couple of minutes and I can say, I think I've got this, then to me, that's a good puzzle. If I look at it for a couple of minutes and I look up at Roger and go, look, man, I don't know what the hell you want from me, then I'm not digging it. So there you go. Yeah.
Just be me. Yeah, I try. Yeah, Joe. Some people don't like that though, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, and Jeff said he played more games with minis at CNY than the rest of my gaming career combined. Yeah, it's interesting. I've kind of gone back and forth on it. Like I used to run with a lot of minis and a battle map and stuff, and try and put some terrain out and stuff. Nothing, is as good as like Mike and Stan play with, but that was back in my like third edition days, and that was, I don't know, it was just not great. It was fine, but it turned into people playing a tactical war game, and it just made combat take too long. And so I went to Theater of the Mind, and I've kind of been there since. But I know some people like doing minis, so I start to go back with it a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see where I end up. Okay, so that was that one. Matt says he's working on something for Vaults of Varn. Yeah, cool. That's fun. Hopefully, second edition of that. Hopefully that stuff. I haven't checked the updates on Backer Kit for that. Hopefully that'll be out at some point. Chubby, yeah, we're talking about publishing stuff. Yeah, we talk about a lot of things on this channel. But yeah. So no, and Matt, I get it, right? Matt says, preach, Jason, 100% aligned with that. Having a game screech to a halt over an obtuse puzzle is the worst feeling. Like I that's why I try and avoid like puzzles, or try and abstract them. I mean, if they're built into a thing, or sometimes, or if there's like an easy riddle or something, like I'll use that sort of thing. But like I try and avoid like a huge kind of puzzle thing, unless that's like the dungeon that I'm running, So, but I mean, at that point too, like the Dragonbane adventure, that was, I think that was for Free RPG Day 2 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
That there were kind of things in there where it was like, hey, here's this puzzle, and like players can like get on it or whatever. But like, if not, there are ways like that they could find like a couple different hints.
Yeah. If you couldn't figure out, like the one puzzle door that we had to open up.
Yeah.
If we couldn't figure out how to open up that door, there were other ways of getting what was inside there.
Yeah.
It didn't kill the game by, this door's locked and I can't get in. I'm going to go home now.
There's stuff in the room. Like if you search the room, there's like that piece of paper that kind of has hints on it, and like that.
Yeah.
So, so that's interesting. So that's that. But yeah, I mean, I hate like the puzzles that grind things to a halt too. Yeah. All right. So there's that. What is this? Agile. Roger, I know how you feel. Well, I've promoted a Kickstarter. I haven't directed anyone to buy it. The closest I've come is asking people to check out our site. Let me know what they think. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way too. So yeah. All right. What else? Wow. A lot of active chat today.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't want to talk about running into that spending issues. Oh, spending early issue other hobby convention. Yeah, make your reservations. Yeah, right. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. That's like the only way to get into like GaryCon is to like renew your badge from last year. Like otherwise you don't get into stuff or whatever. You're trying to fight for stuff. I don't know. It's just whatever. Yeah, gather the pieces stuff, like that's better than a puzzle, because that's not a puzzle. That's like go down these hallways, and that just make sure that you explore, like a way to forcibly kind of make the players explore everything instead of shortcutting the dungeon. No, Matt, it's not the sinking tower puzzle. It's the one. It's the one with the
breaking
party.
into the mansion.
Yeah, where there's the mansion and there's the party, and they play
I have it.
Snickleboard. And you're working for the guy that like loses all the time because the other girl or whatever uses magic items. So you got to like find like the magic wig and like swap it out, and the magic board.
That was fun.
I
played that.
It was a blast. Honestly, if you play Dragonbane, or if you have any interest in it and you've never seen that module, find it. It is such a good time.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's Free RPG Day from like a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I think it is. We'll probably find the PDF for free out there.
Yeah, I don't have it. I would love to get a hard copy of it.
And some of the handouts are cool. I mean, it's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
typical free league publication, high
Which one?
quality.
Which one's it called?
I don't know.
It's not.
It's the
this one.
Magistrate's Gambit. The Magistrate's Gambit.
Yeah, this is from last year.
Is that Magistrate's
Oh,
Gambit?
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
I don't have that one. I'm
This-
sure I can find it somewhere.
This was
Okay.
last year's free RPG day.
Cool.
Okay. This year's is coming past already?
No, that's
No, so then it wasn't. Was
this
it
coming.
that last year?
It's this coming weekend, I think.
I thought I got something different for free RPG Day from Dragonbane last year.
Well, that was from this past year.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
played it
we
recently,
can find
so I think.
Oh, maybe it was then.
last
Yeah. Oh, this Saturday is okay. This Saturday's free RPG Day.
Excellent.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forgot what it was, but there was only one thing I saw on the list that was really interested in for free RPG Day this year. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the list. Edgelord, yeah, I like. So Edgelord says as long as you don't have that Hollywood goofball like Dragonlance and Vince Vaughn at CNY, that's going to jump the sharp. You know, I get it, right? Like that happens at Gary Con. There's a bunch of people like going around, and they're all like, Hollywood types and stuff. But man, like I saw Vince Vaughn there,
Mhm.
and I saw him in a game,
Yeah,
and he was like concentrating on the game and like playing the game.
100% zeroed in
he-
on the game.
Yeah, like he's not
Yeah.
going there
From-
to play. So like I mean, like, I don't know. I can't believe I got to say this, right? But like, famous people can play D&D too. You know what I mean? Like,
From what
It's-
I've seen of that group, those guys are gamers. Like,
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
just pretenders.
It's
Like,
when-
those guys are.
yeah, but there's like
Mhm.
one of them that uses that for publicity and everything else, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's just super annoying, But I
Well,
mean, the one
also,
some of
if
the
you're
ones I
if
can
you're
think of.
but if you're referring to Joe Maniello, like, listen to some more of his videos, because he goes hard in the paint, like, against the company. Like,
Yeah.
they had to bring, like, the Dan Ayub had to bring him in and basically probably gave him an apology too, because he went scorched earth a little bit when they booted Mike Merles and did some other stuff because Mike's his friend, and then all the stuff that happened, like, with behind the scenes that he was supposed to work on, that they just scrubbed after giving
Yeah.
him the green light to work on it. And yeah, I'm the first person to say Hollywood sucks, but I actually don't have an issue with those guys.
Yeah. No, like I said, I've definitely seen some of them that are actually in it for the gaming and all that, and
Yeah.
so, I mean, I'm willing to give those guys a pass, if that's what they're in it for. And so, like, if Vince Vaughn wants to show up to CNY and jump into a game, like, great, that'd be fantastic.
I don't foresee it happening.
You never know.
And I'm more annoyed at the way Luke Gygax treats them and what they do at the con. I met Tom Morello. I saw him. The game hadn't started yet. I was like, wow, man, that's Tom Morello, dude. He's freaking awesome. I like Rage Against the Machine, but I'm a huge Audio Slave fan. So I was like, I have to go say hi. So I went over. I took 2 minutes, and I was like, man, I leaned in. I just want to say I really love your music. Your guitar is amazing. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he was like, oh, cool, thanks, man. What's your name? He was super cool. But as soon as the DM like cleared his throat, he's ready to go, I was like, I'll let you be. And like he turned away and started playing Dungeons and Dragons. So my problem is not with Hollywood types playing Dungeons and Dragons. And like the guy that Stan just talked about, whose name Joe whatever, I can never remember. Like he shows off his basement, his game room, and it's like this incredible collection dungeon. I can't hate the guy for that, because if I had that kind of money, I would have that shit all over my house. So cool. What bugs me is the way that they are given special status by Luke Gygax, because he wants to have his tongue up their ass. So my issue is with Tom, or with Luke, not with the games. So,
Well, it kind of seems like Gary Con's all about the special status these days.
It
is.
It definitely is.
and,
Yeah,
and that's
definitely
why I
is.
haven't gone in 2 years. And that really
And you don't have to be a famous Hollywood type to get special status, but it's they definitely have their favorites that they handpick, and these guys are
Yeah. Ronan Wong. I've talked to him a little bit. He's definitely a gamer. I mean, he's not a real huge name in Hollywood either, though. I mean, yeah, he was man in the high castle, but I mean, you know,
All right.
let's be honest.
It's official. I'm going to say this, Roger.
Yeah,
That was not bad.
the your peanut butter
the
whiskey.
Peanut butter whiskey.
Screwball peanut butter whiskey. It was actually
right.
not bad. I'm going back for seconds.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Right into the window.
Yeah, yeah, Jeff. That's exactly what they do. They sequester the special guests. At the end of the night, they're all in the restaurant and behind the glass wall, and you got to like look in, like
Yeah,
like you're the
it's not.
peasant.
It's not like Central New York where the special guests and the GMs and the regular attendees and the staff are all just pulling up chairs, sitting in a circle,
Everybody just
Shit.
hangs out.
sharing bottles of Blanton's.
Sure, Blanton's.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I've never.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to a lot of cons. You know, I had a lot of fun at Page this year, but it was like
Yeah.
when we got done, I leave the convention center, go back to the hotel, and I ended up running into Stephen Picorni one night and sat at the bar with him, and we were watching whatever was on football at the time. And he was all into it and whatnot. And we just sat there talking, had a couple drinks, and then Troy would come down and whatever. But it wasn't like this. This was like everybody's there. It's not like a few people that might have made their way back to the hotel. Everybody's there, especially when gaming just closed. So those that aren't in the hotel probably left, but those that are probably sitting right down there with us.
Yeah.
I don't imagine at 10 o'clock at night when everything finished and everybody's sitting in the hall having a good time that too many people were rushing off to bed.
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
No, Stephen,
a great time.
Agile, you're right. Stephen Picorni he's a great guy. I talked with him quite a bit. He came over and wanted a whole bunch of stuff from my booth and he was like, "Oh, do you like doing barter? Do you want to trade?" And I'm like, "Sure." And of course he had his setup on his like Dwarven Forge stuff he ran his game with, and he kept trying to like push stuff to me, and I'm like, I go, not for nothing, I don't need a couple, I don't need a Dwarven Forge room setup or whatever because I have all my stuff. But ended up doing a trade. He gave me one of his movies, gave me a dice bag, some other stuff, took some of my stuff. It was all small, but he was definitely very, very pleasant, easy to talk to. I think Sunday night when everything was done, I stayed. This year I did not leave Sunday and drive home. So, we came back and it was a snowstorm, and Troy and I decided to go out for dinner because the hotel was closed. Their bar was closed on Sunday night. We went to dinner, we come back, walking back in, and there's Stephen Picorni and his girlfriend sitting there with an entire table just filled with containers of Thai food. And he's just, everybody he sees, come on over, have some food, come sit down. And, he was just that type of guy. He was,
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's been in the industry forever. He's made a ton of money with Dwarven Forge, but he's not full of himself. He's just, down to earth, easy to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, everybody at North Texas, that's, they're fantastic. Yeah, same goes for CNY. We're all fantastic.
Yes, Agile, Ann, you're right. I didn't know her last name, but
Come and hang out with us, after hours and stuff. It's fun.
Chubby, I heard Roger said he would take care of that for you.
Chubby said, if you come to Central New York, especially guests for complimentary foot rolls and ball service. Yeah, no, we got, yeah.
I don't know what bald
Wow.
service is. I'm not sure if I want to know.
Yeah,
The
I think
foot
you
rub
mean something
part,
else.
I understand what a foot rub is. I don't know what bald service is.
I think you want something else rubbed, but yeah. So yeah, good times. But no, we'd love to have you. I know you said if your Kickstarter hits 100K, you'll come up. So we'll have to try and convince you. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, no, Dan was, Dan, you were great as a staff member. You're welcome back, anytime, even though Jeff's over it and it doesn't bother him at all that I made you staff. So, yeah. Yeah, good times. Health and budget. Yeah, that's it's the budget for me to get to North Texas, and the timing now because it's a week before. So, but one of these days, I don't know. Mike and I are going to work something out one of these years. I'm gonna go down there, and then he's going to come up here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, but yeah. So, yeah, fantastic. So yeah, so game day. That's December 12th. Yeah, bottle service. There you
Okay,
go.
that makes more
Bottle
sense.
service. Yeah. Well, that week, I mean, we hand out water. We hand out bottles of water.
There you go. So we're halfway there.
I'm sure that people will be more than willing to go run to the bar and grab you a drink. I mean, I don't think that that's going to be a problem, but you know,
he doesn't need to go anywhere. Edgelord will be walking around with a bottle in his hand, ready to give you a drink.
yeah, right. Yeah, it'll happen. So yeah, good times. Now hopefully you can make it this year, and you know, we'll see what happens. You know, but we'd love to have you. I know we keep saying it, and I'm sure that if you could make it work, that you would. But yeah, you know, keep in touch about it, and we'll see what we can do. You know, so, but yeah, it's fantastic. So, yeah, today, I know we've been going here for an hour already. Wow. So I made the thing. I forget was tracking the minutia.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing Blacklight on Sunday, and that's what got me thinking about this, because they do the ammo thing where, you know, you make a loading roll, where you basically every time there's combat, or every time the GM feels like it or whatever, it's kind of arbitrary. You make a loading roll. Every gun has a loading number, and then if you do like a spray, it brings that loading number up. And then if you roll a D6, and if you roll under that number, you have to reload. So, you know, the loading for like a pistol might be like a 2, right? But like something like a machine gun, is it 1 for a pistol? Or you know, but something like, if it's a machine gun, it might be 3 or 4, or it's 3 default. Yeah. And then if it's something really large, it could be 5, you know, because it's you're spraying a ton of bullets out there. And then if you do like certain things, it goes up by 1. And then that's kind of like the arbitrary like roll. And like, I don't know. So I mean, I kind of want to talk about that, like, because there's that. And then that's just basically a yes or no, right? It's like, yes, we've ran out of bullets in that magazine. We got to put a new magazine in, or whatever, right? Or new clip, or whatever, reload the weapon, right? So, you know, and the other things that I've seen out there are, I mean, there's obviously tracking every bullet, which I think in a fantasy game, like tracking arrows, that's a lot easier to do. I think tracking bullets in a game is more difficult, with like spray shots and things like that, unless you're going to roll like at the end, like, you know, a random die to know how many bullets. I mean, I mean, I don't know, maybe military trained guys know how many bullets you shoot, you know, when you pull the trigger, but I don't know. I mean, do you even, like, Jason, you've been in the military and stuff, obviously, like, I mean, do you know how many bullets you've shot? I mean, can you, like,
yes,
you know,
and no.
Yeah.
You know, in a semi-automatic weapon, when the magazine goes empty, the slide locks to the rear.
Sure.
Speaking of that, I have to get this off my chest now. It bugs the crap out of me when Hollywood has a semi-automatic pistol or rifle go click, click when the guy runs out of bullets.
Yeah, sure. Because there's nothing to push the thing back.
It's
because you need a bullet for that. Yeah.
But aside from that,
Click.
Well,
I personally, I hate it.
If you're using a revolver, it will click.
Right. Yes.
Well, yeah.
But that's not a semi-automatic. That's a revolver.
Sure.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it when they rack the slide like 4 times before they take a shot.
Yes, and
they just unloaded the.
Right. You've already got a round chamber, so you're going to rack the slide and eject a round. What the hell are you doing? But if you leave it empty, then you're loading it and scaring the crap out of the home invader at the same time. That's why you use a pump.
Yeah.
These things don't matter.
No.
To
Right.
answer your question, the average soldier, if you put him out in the field and you have him shoot, he will not know how many bullets he's fired because they don't train enough. The average soldier goes to the range twice a year. They qualify, and then they're done. The exception if they deployed, different story. But you get infantrymen or combat support people. I was a combat engineer. I went to the range often. I like going to the range, and I trained with some special forces guys, SF guys. The guys that you're playing when you're playing blacklight and most modern firearm type stuff. Those dudes live at the range. They hit the center of the target every single time they shoot because they live with a firearm in their hand 24/7. I agree that Edgelord agrees that Agile is right, that I'm right.
So
we're going back to that.
I'll go the flip side with this, and Stan might be able to attest to this, but I know in law enforcement training, you're aware of every round you fired, and a lot of our courses of fire, like even when we're shooting with the Glock, the course of fire they'll be like, oh, the course of fire for this one is 10 rounds center mass. Well, you might only have 6 rounds left in the magazine. So you're counting it, and as soon as you hit that 6th round, you're dropping the magazine, throwing a new magazine, and you keep shooting your other 4 rounds.
Right.
And you have to be aware of that stuff, which obviously, if you're in the military and you're going into a conflict, you want to be aware of what you have, but it's more a case of, a lot of times it may just be bullets downrange to providing cover, whatever else, where in law enforcement, you're not pulling that trigger unless you have a target.
Right.
And you really got to be aware of what you're shooting at and how many rounds you have and all that.
Right. And that was the end of what I was saying. When in my first tour in Iraq, I got into a couple of firefights, but only one of them was what I would really consider a firefight. And when it was over, I had 4 empty magazines laying at my feet. And I had no idea that I had fired off 120 plus rounds. Yeah. I was shooting, and as soon as the bolt locked to the rear, I dropped it, put another magazine in. I wasn't counting anything. But
early on, they used to try to teach tracking your rounds and stuff, and we got away from it because you're never going to do it.
Yeah,
you're never going to do it.
It's easy to do it.
You're going to fire until either you're empty and reloading, or you don't have to fire anymore.
Right.
We just stopped doing it. Because the average guy, just like in the military, that the average police officer is very similar. Like they suck. Like they are not good.
You see that on YouTube all the time. And people mock them. Oh my God, dude emptied 3 magazines into a fleeing suspect. I guarantee you that police officer has no idea how many rounds he shot. It's not that he's the shit cop. It's totally different standing at the range shooting a piece of paper or a plastic dummy that's popping up versus you're in combat, you're being assaulted.
And what you perceive is totally different. The one shooting incident I was involved in, a guy with me shot a guy, and they asked me, the big investigation and all that stuff, and they're like, how many? I was on the range a lot. I was a firearms instructor, and I was on the tactical team for the county, and I shot a lot of guns, and I love to shoot. And they asked me, they're like, how many rounds did he fire? And I was like, I think I told them 2. And they were like, well, there's 3 bullets missing from his magazine. And I was like, I swear to God,
he shot 3.
I would have bet everything I owned that he fired 2 rounds at that guy. And then it wasn't until I went back and listened to the 911 tape, because the person inside the house was on the phone. You could hear all the shots go off. And
maybe he racked the slide before he started shooting.
I would have lost my house because I would have bet that guy only fired 2 rounds. Yeah. But so we didn't really get into it, like coaching and stuff. Like we were just like our qualifications changed, because it was a lot like Mike said, and then it changed where we didn't, like, if you were in a stage during our qual and you needed to fire 6 shots and you only had 3 rounds, you just shot and reloaded. And there was no what we call administrative reload. Like you just shot, and if you ran out of bullets, you needed to reload that thing and get it going again.
I'll give you one little other thing is when in corrections, There's four things that we train with. We trained with the Glock. We trained with an AR-15. We trained with an M203 grenade launcher.
Dang.
And
Fucking inmates better
Wow.
smart the
well,
fuck
yeah,
up.
because we'd shoot gas grenades.
Oh, for tear gas.
Yes,
Right,
yeah.
right,
For
right. You're
gas
not
I love the
grenades.
launching
203,
grenades.
man.
Yeah.
That's such a fun
I mean-
thing to shoot.
I mean, we had pepper spray. We had just regular CS spray.
Yeah,
We would throw our grenades. We would throw the grenades like triple chasers and stuff by hand. But if we had to shoot long distance across the yard, and you might be shooting 200 yards downrange, you literally popped up the 203 and pointed at the sky and fire it down there because there's no aiming those things. You're just hoping to get it in a direction.
Yeah.
And it was always funny because you had these 40-foot walls around it, and it was all contained, and the wind would whip in all these directions. So as soon as we dropped gas, it never went where it wanted to, where you wanted it to. You'd watch it like literally a whole cloud fly right at the officers or whatever else, and that was okay too, because a lot of people don't seem to understand. We were always taught if we drop gas, it's there for your protection. You get into the gas because the inmates move away from it. It was there to basically save staff. But so when we would shoot, when we train with the AR, you only got to put 5 rounds in a magazine, and that might seem weird to people, but that was the state's way of getting you to stop and think about what you're doing. Because if you load that magazine and you're sitting up on the wall and something breaks out in the yard, and you just start bam, 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 and next thing you know, you got 5 people dead on the ground.
Yeah, right.
There's going to be a lot of questions to ask. So they were like, nope, you got 5 rounds. If you shoot those 5 in succession, you now have to stop and reload. And that gives your brain a chance to like stop and think like, oh, has the situation changed? Do I really need to keep
instead of
doing
just
this?
keep spraying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be part of why like it's a little different with us than you guys. You guys have active threats that you don't know what's going on. For us, the threats are contained. They're within, within the walls of a facility generally, and their goal isn't for us to just shoot and kill everybody.
Yeah.
So game wise though, like I mean, bullets is probably like the big one that I could think of that has like the biggest kind of like hard to count kind of thing. Like I said, arrows are easy, right?
Yeah, but I think bullets would be
but
easier than
you
arrows
think bullets-
because most times people want to try and
Yeah.
recover their arrows. You're not recovering a
Right,
bullet
right.
after it's been fired.
That's true. That's true.
For me, the rules can really help or they can hinder. Blacklight is specifically vague and it has rules that make you reload or not reload. But for me, it's not difficult. If you're firing a semi-automatic weapon, you get 2 attacks per round. This will be my rules. You get 2 attacks per round. You're firing 1 round each time. If you're firing burst, you can get 2 burst attacks. A burst is 3 rounds. So if you fire 2, that's 6 rounds gone. If you do full auto, then make a rule for it. If you're doing full auto, you're using it. Let's say you're firing a fully like an older M16 that had full auto on it. Okay, so you're firing 10 rounds for one attack, 10 rounds for another. That's how I would do it. And so for me, it's easy to keep track of that. In the military, when you're training with the saw, that's the M249 or the 240, one of my all-time favorite weapons, you're supposed to be firing a 5 to 7 round burst. So one attack is 5 to 7 rounds. That's what it is. And so if you wanted, you could do, you could roll a D4 plus 2 or 3 or a D6 plus 1, but you don't really need to do that. You can just say if you're firing a burst from a machine gun, it's 7 rounds, and you keep track of it that way.
I think Jason's onto it. I think that's the easy way to do it.
So
you're not tracking how many rounds you shot. It's not variable. It's just if you pull the trigger on this weapon, it's going to fire 7 rounds.
Right. It's
that's how they do
7.
it.
That's what you're shooting.
That's how they do it in the post-apocalyptic game that I ran, the American Survival Guide. They did it. It was 1 shot, or if it was, something that you could, that wasn't. I think if it was semi-auto, you could do it, multiple times, 1 for every attack that you had. A burst was 3 rounds, and then if it had the semi-auto feature, it was 10.
Yeah.
So I think that's exactly how they did it there. So I mean, you guys all seem to be on the same page as far as like just count bullets, like just count them. So are you guys the same way with like arrows?
I keep track of my arrows. Yeah, if you're firing once, you
I mean,
you
tracking
lose an
arrows,
arrow.
is
Yeah,
that-
yeah. I've never
Yeah.
had a problem with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
I
I
play
track them
range.
as a player. I track them. I don't.
We've done
I
different
think
ways
my guys track them, but
for recovery. We've done different ways where, like, okay, you fired off 5 arrows, roll a d6, and then 1 and 2, you roll a d6 for each one, and at 1 and 2 they broke or whatever. There's other times where we just said, if you hit a target, you could recover the arrow. If you missed, and
Yeah,
you're in a
gone,
dungeon, it hit the wall and broke, or
Yeah.
you're in the wilderness, it's just
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was an easy way to do it too. You know, we got away from the rolling and just said, listen, if you hit the target, you can recover the arrow. If you miss the target, the arrow's
So
gone.
so you guys don't like usage dice or anything like that. You'd rather just count everything out.
I'm not a fan.
I'm
of it.
just asking.
I think it just complicates
Yeah.
the game unnecessarily, because
Yeah.
nobody else is really tracking that. I mean, who's really? I know everybody says they might or whatever, but who is really tracking like spell components? So I mean, maybe for like big things with expensive components.
Sure, right.
You know, hey, you want to cast Identify? Well, do you have 100 gold piece pearl? You know, you're going to crush it up.
Right. No, right. But like, I mean, the way I used to do that was like in 3rd edition, where everything is anything that was under 5 gold was just, you needed a generic spell component pouch, and it lasted forever, and it was just an item that you carried that was basically like, hey, if this is taken away, unless you have like a shoe materials or anything like that, you can't. You can't cast spells.
So if you're not going to hold them to the standard, why would you do it to the guy throwing the arrows? I mean,
no, right, sure. But that's the other thing too, right? Like, so I mean, there's several alternatives, right? There's like counting bullets, or there's like the usage dice, which where it's a D8, and then every time you roll it, every time you use it at the end of combat, or you roll it, if it's a 1 or a 2, it reduces down. Or there's like what like if you make an attack roll in a D20, if you do a crit fail, like with a machine gun, okay, you're attacking, it's fine. It's unlimited until you roll a 1, and then now you have to reload.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or there's just, I mean, I guess the other obvious that's maybe not so obvious is just don't track bullets.
Yeah.
Just everybody has unlimited ammunition. Like does it matter? I mean,
one of my animal players had an issue with Delta Green and weapons, because he was like, well, if I've got a 3-round burst weapon, shouldn't I be making 3 attack rolls? And I said, no, you make 1 attack roll regardless of the weapon, regardless of how many bullets it fires. He goes, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, it does. It's represented in the damage that they do. If you hit, you roll higher damage with, bigger weapons that fire more rounds. That's all. I mean, it doesn't have to be, I don't know, when you get to the point where like, oh, my guy's got a 3-round burst, I'm going to roll 3 times and see if all 3 of those bullets hit. And then I'm going to roll damage into it. No, that's
it slows the game down.
Right. It doesn't help anything.
Yeah, that's I'm using Black Lives reference just because we played it Sunday.
Sure.
The character I was playing was using the MP510. It fires a 10 millimeter round instead of a 9 millimeter, and its base damage was 1d8 for single shot. But if you fired burst, it moved the damage die up to a D. No, I'm sorry. The base damage for the regular MP5 was D8. Mine, the 10 millimeter, was a D10. If you fired burst, it became D12, and I really liked that. There wasn't more attacks. I had to roll more dice. It just upped my damage a little bit.
Right.
And it also increased my reload chance. I think it's great. And somebody was talking about, on a 1 it jams or what have you. That is also in Blacklight. If you roll a 1, if it jams.
Yeah.
And I like that. With modern weapons, like I'm always seeing, they don't jam that much, but man, they do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was at the range or out in the field shooting my M16 and then my M4, and the freaking thing would jam. Pop the magazine out. I'm fighting with the charging hail, trying to get the bad round to eject. And I've got my 380 pistol that I bought, I think 6 months ago. The first time I took it to the range, it jammed like on every 3rd round. It's got a 7-round magazine, and I'm like, what the hell is with this thing? But after 2 magazines where it kind of started getting worn in, it didn't jam anymore. So modern weapons do jam. So having those rules in there They really don't bother me. I think they definitely have their place. 5% chance of jamming. The way I roll, it's very annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still like the rule.
So Matt's wondering if the type of game matters. He says, for instance, Delta Green, I probably would track through reloads, but not total ammo because it isn't that kind of game. But Blacklight feels more combat focused. So in that case, he would keep track of, rounds or whatever, or, actual ammunition and stuff. I'm okay with that. Like, definitely different games are going to feel like if you're in a war or like you're in a big fight, like you're going to be heavy combat than tracking rounds and ammunition, especially in Blacklight where you have different types of rounds and things. Like, it would be good to track that. Whereas, and what Matt's saying, and Mike, you've got more experience running Delta Green, but like that seems like it's a combat light game. So like tracking ammo isn't really like huge, because if you're in a huge firefight in a Chaosium game, like you're dead.
In trouble.
Yeah, if you're really
Monster.
unloading your weapons in Delta Green, shit has gone sideways and you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
I think the type of game matters a lot. Cooperative Ruffles, love your name. Talks about Twilight 2000.
Yeah.
That's late World War III, where you can't just call on the radio and they airdrop resupply in. So every single bullet counts.
There's nobody to call on the radio.
Right.
Yeah.
And so games like that, I would demand you keep track of every round you fire. In Twilight it has a reload mechanic. How many bullets did you spend? And so for games like that, I think it's very important. For something like Blacklight, probably not so much. Just like it has a magazine count, not so much a bullet count. Do I have to reload or not? Well,
Sure.
I've got 2 more loads left, and we'll see what happens. So
Now,
I think the type of game definitely matters.
Now, Vic also kind of abstracts caliber.
Yes.
I mean, to a certain degree, right?
Yeah,
like
it's shotgun, pistol, submachine gun.
Yeah, right.
That
So
sort of thing.
how do you guys feel about that, or should that be broken down into,
Go ahead.
Depends
Sam.
on what
I've
it
been
is.
talking, man. Go ahead.
If it's if it's a pistol, like unless it's something crazy, like you're shooting a 500 Magnum, some bullshit like that. Like anything like modern police or military carriers for pistol round, they all pretty much work the same. Like, and yeah, that's why that debate has been going on in the gun world for a million years, and they're pretty much all the same. But I mean, but then you start switching things. Like if you're talking about, different styles of guns, like the pistol to 12 gauge shotgun, that'll be different.
Sure, sure.
In favor of the shotgun, and same thing with like rifles and distance wise, and range comes into it, and then you get bigger. I used to always joke with it because in law enforcement, idiots. So they were always talking about, like, we wanted to switch from 45s and back to 9s, and our admin were like, well, we want to go with the 40 because it's got more stopping power, and they didn't say this to me, which was good because I probably would have gotten in trouble, but I'm like, it doesn't exist in a handgun. Like, if you want stopping power, you get a crew serve weapon and then you have stopping power. 9mm, I carry 9mm all day long because and I've carried everything. I've carried 40 caliber guns. I've carried 45 caliber guns. I'm just as happy carrying a 9mm because I can carry a lot of bullets and they work. The expanded difference between a 9mm and a 45 is about a millimeter. So it's not what you hit them with; it's where you hit them.
I've been retired 2.5 years now, and I will say it was probably 5 years, maybe 4 years before I retire. We finally, the department finally got rid of our 38s and switched us to Glock 9s. And do you know why they had us using 38s all those years? First of all, they were hand-me-downs from the New York State Police decades earlier. Yep. These were old guns. Oh my God, old guns. Had all kinds of problems with them. I've seen them literally blow out the frame at the range because they were just old and whatever, and they failed. But their issue was, if we give them to the guards, they're going to shoot themselves. And I'm like, if you can't trust us to fucking use modern weapons, then why are we here?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Right.
They finally switched over. They switched over to Glocks, and they're still using a 9, and it was leaps and bounds above what we had, though. I mean, come on, man, you're using a 38 with 6 rounds in it and 2 speed loaders on your hip. You know,
Yeah,
you get in a gunfight with that thing, and you're screwed. Especially we're right outside of Syracuse. You get some gangbanger with some semi-automatic weapon, and here you rolling with your 38 special.
Yeah,
it'd be like that movie with
crew served.
It'd be like that movie with Eddie
Eddie
Murphy, Harlem Nights.
Oh,
and there's
God,
that
dude,
scene
I know
where
the
they
scene you're
chase a guy,
talking
and he goes through the window, and there's 2 guys shooting like Tommy guns, and there's one idiot with like a little 38 revolver, and they get done firing, and he like pow, pow, and then finally they just it was awesome. Like if you haven't watched that movie,
What up?
don't
Stop!
watch it with your kids.
Put that shit away! Stop shooting that!
Yeah, put that shit away.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. Doing
So-
nothing with that.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So I mean,
I
bullets
would
are a
just-
different thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would
you
just-
got different.
pistols do the same pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless it's something really esoteric, and then
That's how
you
I've
know,
always done it. You
Yeah.
have shotgun ammo, you got pistol ammo, you got rifle ammo type of thing.
My beef with switching to the 9mm. When I first enlisted, we used 45s, the old 1911 A1 45s. I love them, and that's all I want. That's the only style of pistol I want to own. But that's just because I grew up on it. I was the unit
first
armor
handgun.
when what's that?
It was my first handgun.
Oh,
Colt
they're
1911.
Mine's a Springfield. Love it. Anyway, I was the unit armorer when we switched from the 45 to the 9mm, the Beretta Model 92F.
Yep.
And to me, it was a shit pistol. It wasn't with a 45. You could use that thing as a hammer, put a magazine in, and it would still fire 7 rounds. The Berettas were just fragile. The cast metal that they used seemed not good. I mean, I saw broken magazine wells. But more than that, it was the discipline in firing plummeted, because we went from having 7 rounds, you got to make them count, to 13 to 15 rounds. And I would just see, especially officers, go to the range, and they would just be, man, I had a captain shoot the dirt in front of my feet once. And I was like, okay, ma'am, I'm going to take this from you, and I'm going to put you back over in the retrain area, and we're going to train you up on how to shoot this thing. Because when you give people that many, it's the exact same reason why the M16 went from being a fully automatic weapon to a semi-auto and 3-round burst. Because guys would have full auto on, and they would spray 20 to 30 rounds into the wood line and not hit a damn thing. And it was just, you're just throwing lead down range and not doing anything with it. So because of that, the 9mm it's always had a bad taste in my mouth. I just do not like them. But like Stan said, as far as stopping power and all that, a bullet's a bullet.
Well, just for shits and giggles, to stay on topic.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I had to look here.
Pro game book.
Yeah.
I looked in Deadlands, and Deadlands doesn't have the rules because they all come out of the core book.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked here, and I looked at rate of fire, because you have all kinds of weapons in here.
Sure.
Deadlands only has rate of fires of 1 and 2, but of course Savage Worlds has rate of fires going all the way up to 6. Here's the way they handle it. Your rate of fire dictates how many dice you're rolling for your attack. So the more dice you roll, the better your chance of attacking is. Your damage based on rate of fire increases. The more rate of fire, the more damage if you hit. And then it specifically states here, bullets per rate of fire. So rate of fire 1 is 1 bullet fired. Rate of fire 2 is 5. Rate of fire 3 is 10.
Cool.
So you literally just, like, if you got a rate of fire 3 weapon, I pull the trigger, I'm shooting 10 rounds. That's it. You got to keep track of, subtract 10 bullets.
Yeah.
Obviously, you play like Deadlands, you got revolvers and rifles and stuff, and then we got a rate of fire 1. You don't have to have a crap ton of rounds because you're not firing off a bunch. But you get into modern stuff and you start firing. A rate of fire 6 is 50 bullets fired per round. I would imagine that's probably something like the gun Jason was talking about, the machine gun.
Yeah.
And of course, the damage scales with it, but you don't roll multiple attacks. You roll one time.
Yeah,
You
right.
fire off 50 rounds, and basically, I mean, Jason, if you pull that trigger and fire 50 rounds, how many of those rounds are actually hitting on target?
Oh,
Because they're going to be all over the place.
the first 2 rounds are going to hit
Yeah.
something. After
Right.
that, you're just
Right. So it's
Yeah, so that's why it scales up slower
Right,
than the number of
right.
bullets. Yeah.
So that's why it's reasonable that you fired 50 rounds
Yeah.
when you pulled the trigger. You only roll your attack once, and if you hit, this is the damage you did. Because it's not like 50 rounds are hitting; it's one
Yeah,
or
right.
2 rounds are hitting.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
But to answer your question, Roger, because we never did.
Yeah.
As far as caliber and magazine
Yeah,
size
yeah.
and all that,
And
again,
gaming,
it depends on the game.
Sure.
A game like Twilight, where you're typically playing a NATO soldier using a 5.56 or 7.62 NATO round, whereas the enemy is using their 7.62 AK-47 7.62 Warsaw Pact round. 7.62 is the caliber. It does not talk about the bullet length or the casing length. So it's like, okay, if I kill this enemy soldier, I'm going to go loot his ammo. Well, congratulations, but unless you have an AK-47, you can't use that ammunition.
Yeah.
And so in games like that, it's really important to keep track of what caliber you're using.
Sure.
That's where you take his weapon.
Sure.
Yes, exactly.
Well, right.
Right. And that's what you would do. But like in Blacklight, I wouldn't really care. If a submachine gun is a submachine gun is a submachine gun,
Yeah.
rifle's a rifle, pistol's a pistol. Have
Yeah.
at it, because that game isn't meant to be realistically focused on the firearm.
Right. And then that's kind of why I did what I did with like the post-apocalyptic game, where I was like, okay, there's D6 bullets, there's D8 bullets, there's D10 bullets, there's D12, and I just left it at that because I mean, I get it, like things are scarce and all of that stuff, but like, I mean, I don't want to have to deal with it's just too much to deal with. I mean,
Right.
I did the same thing with gasoline. I was like, okay, there is gasoline. And I know a lot of people give me shit for this, but I was like, there's gasoline. Everything runs on gasoline.
Mhm.
There's no diesel, there's no kerosene, it's all gasoline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just all one thing and it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could put it in a chainsaw, you could put it in a go-kart, you could put it into an 18-wheeler. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. It'll just work. And I mean, because trying to track like some of that minutia, I think is
Sure.
beyond the scope of the game.
Yeah.
We used to do the same thing, like go down this rabbit hole when I was younger, playing the game like D&D with like the monk one. The AD&D monk sucks, but like just martial arts in general in D&D have never been that great. But growing up doing that stuff, I was like, well, the elbow would do all it. You just go down this, where it becomes unplayable, right? Like and some people they're into that. Like they're
some
into,
people
like,
want
the
to do that.
minutia of it.
That kind of resource tracking and all the different things of like, okay, we've got 19 9mm, whatever, and we got I mean, that's like, I mean, Jason's the only guy I play with that would want to track all that stuff, I think. But
it would depend on the game that and I keep keep my contrast is Blacklight versus Twilight 2000. Twilight 2000
different thing.
Is as much a survival game as it is your standard RPG.
Right.
Everything
and so it matters.
So yes,
I think
that's part
Twilight
of the game.
2002. I mean, I don't think you really need to go into the minutia, but you just have to say like almost like narratively deal with it. Like you're fighting whatever, and you got M4s and they got AKs. You're like, and then at the end of the battle, you're like, well, you can take their guns because you can't use their ammo, so you have to take their guns. So, and I mean, it probably won't change much, but I would probably do it that way. And instead of trying to like, oh, this one does like a D6 and this one does a D8, and great. I mean, you're going to get certain things like that because I mean that should be also a goal, right? Like, oh, like that guy had a Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle. That's going to do a wee bit more damage than your M4 or AK-47.
Certainly will.
And so you'd be like, oh, I'll take that, And
but the Barrett's got a 5-round magazine. You got to really make sure you're shooting at what you're shooting at. Yeah,
make them count.
So
and it's going to be a heavy bitch to lug around.
Yeah.
So how about for things like rations?
Same.
I know that's something like
Same.
that I've done is kept track of numbers, but like
We keep track.
I'm
We do.
gonna
keep
go
track
back
of
to like
those.
Forbidden Lands. Forbidden Lands has the
Oh,
thing where
absolutely.
where
They have a great mechanic
it's
for
a
it, though.
it's a D8 and you roll it, and if it's a 1 or a 2, then it degrades to the previous die.
Yeah, I really
know,
like that
but
mechanic.
I kind of like that idea of like, okay, if you've got like a D12 or whatever in rations, like it's great, but like maybe like if you roll badly like the first time, like whatever, you're out on a ship or you're out in a caravan, you're traveling somewhere, you got a D12's worth of rations with you. Like you roll that D12 on like the first night and it's a 1. Now it degrades to a D10. Well, that kind of like maybe it doesn't make sense because we should have just used, 1 ration per person or whatever. But narratively, it now becomes a thing where you say, oh, you know, uh, a third of the rations that you took with you weren't properly packaged or something,
Yeah.
or they
Rats
got,
got into them.
the rats got to them, or maybe somebody stole it overnight. Somebody stole a bunch of rations, and that like adds to the adventure. Like, shit, do we go back or do we divert off course now to try and track down the thieves that that stole our rations, or do we keep going? Yeah, Dan, that's Scott where I'm going. So that's kind of like interesting to me. Where
I like
we're
that
like, yeah,
mechanic, actually.
I like the
the
idea
narrative.
of tracking like the minutia and saying, okay, here's how many rations you have, and then like every day, and then you're rolling to get lost, and like, oh, we got to spend another ration and some more water or things like that. But you don't have as many narrative kind of like you can, but this kind of forces you to have that narrative aspect to it. I mean, I just like, what do you guys think about that? Obviously, Stan is on board with it.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about rations as I do about bullets.
It depends on the game.
Depends on the setting.
Sure.
Like you mentioned Forbidden Lands.
Yeah.
We keep track of rations in Shadowdark, and honestly, it kind of bugs me. I'm like, okay, I'm walking a hex. I'm rolling to see if I find food. That kind of irritates you because I'm like, I just want to get to the dungeon. But
yeah,
I don't make a fuss about it because it's part of the game mechanic.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. If I'm playing Twilight 2000, where I had a case of MREs in the back of my Humvee, the Humvee got blown up. I don't have a case of MREs anymore. I need to go scrounging. That's part of the game. And so to me, I'm all in for that. And I'm like, oh man, I hope I can scrounge up some roots to eat. So it doesn't bother me at all. So again, it's just like a bullets. If it's a part of the game, if it's important to the game setting and the way the game is played, I'm all in. If it's just something that the DM's just kind of being a jerk off about it, sorry, you're starving to death. You didn't see that coming. Then I'm like, dude, come on, why are we doing this? But not that Roger has done that.
Speaking of bullets,
there you go.
Finish this guy.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting for like, in like a Forbidden Land setting. And I mean, the reason I track rations and stuff is because there is travel and there is things like we're going out, and like, who knows, like at some point you guys might get to the point where you're like, okay, well, we can go here, but we got to make sure we have enough food, or like you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it kind of limits that.
Shadowdark has your load limit. You can only carry a max of 20 items, to your strength 10 plus your strength bonus. So it really matters. And
plus you got to have enough torches when you get there. So you're definitely balancing.
And what you just said, we can go to A, but I don't know if I get enough food for that. Man, I do that every time we play because my luck is terrible and I have to do an intelligence check in order to find food. In fact, my character has a horse. My horse is loaded with rations because I know that I am not going to be able to find anything. We get to the dungeon. I unload the horse. My pack's filled with rations. Now we can carry on and not have to worry about it anymore. So, I understand why it's in Shadowdark. It just, I would just rather focus on other things.
I really like the Shadowdark inventory system. It makes it really easy to deal with encumbrance. The only part of it that I do not like, I absolutely hate, is the fact that inventory list is so light. And there are items that traditionally in role-playing games people always had that just aren't in Shadowdark. And when people asked Kelsey about it, it was, we had to keep it light to keep with the inventory system. And, that's one part that I kind of just felt a little off about, like literally throwing out parts of the game so you could make a mechanic work. Where I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's necessary, but there is a lot of gear that players could use for good with good use in a game that's just not included in Shadow Dark, and you really couldn't carry it anyways because you don't have the slots.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
part of that though is like if you look at what Shadow Dark was intended to do for at least part was to pull people from 5e back into more that style of game, and 5e is pretty much abandoned the dungeon crawl, so or in the traditional sense, so like they don't have that adversity. You have to deal with like you need food. Like keep it going. I like slot based initiative way better than number crunching. Encumbrance. I like Dragonbane uses slot based. It's so much easier. And you gotta be careful what you bring. But that's realistic. Like if anybody that's like ever traveled on foot over land will tell you are careful with what you bring.
I just think you
don't
could
want
use
to carry
more.
everything.
It's funny because if you have like a high strength, it's really not a big issue at all in Shadow Dark. You can carry pretty much all you need.
You can carry a lot of stuff, yeah.
But if you have a low strength, forget it.
Yeah, I made the characters for Roger's Blacklight game that he was running, and I totally agree with you. It's Shadow Dark. I never have had really any issue with inventory, but in Blacklight, my armor takes 3 to 4 slots, a weapon takes 2 to 3 slots, ammunition takes slots, batteries for your MVGs take slots, and I'm like, good Lord, man! I spent so much time. I made, I think 16 characters for, or 18. I made a number of characters for him. Dude,
14, I think. Maybe 16.
It took me 3 days to make those characters because I was manipulating the inventory system. I had an engineer that had an assault ladder. That's a slot. One guy has a climbing kit. That's a slot. One guy has a tool bag. That's a slot. And so in games like that, like it really mattered. But in Shadow Dark, I've never once sweated how much inventory space I had. Yeah,
I did, but I was playing a goblin wizard, so he wasn't super strong. Yeah. So I didn't have a lot of slots.
Yeah. That's why I said it's fine. It's fine unless you have a low strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even then, your minimum's 10, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right? That's in the core book, right?
Yeah, but 10's not a lot. Say you're a wizard.
Right.
Say you're a wizard carrying a staff, and maybe you got a dagger on you. You don't have armor to deal with. But then throw some rations in there and throw a torch in there, and all of a sudden you realize I'm out of slots already. I'm not carrying anything. I think one thing it does take away from it is if you take other games that with some more advanced rules, whether it's AD, third edition, whatever.
I finally hit 500 subs.
Nice.
Hey,
congrats.
I've been dancing around at $4.99 for like a week.
Congrats.
Hey,
that's awesome.
So I don't even know what I was saying though.
It's all right, Mike.
It's all right. That's all right. I
had to celebrate.
I lose.
Pause for celebration.
Yeah.
You were talking about low strength characters like a wizard.
Yeah. Low strength
inventory.
Oh, one of the things is if you play a game, let's forget about like 5e because their equipment stuff is kind of ghetto too. But like if you look at 2e or 3e and you have a big equipment list, you're not going to have in Shadow Dark that moment like months into the game where one of those players pulls something out of his inventory that like saves the day because they just don't have the slots to be able to carry all that extra stuff. So, it's
sure.
That's one thing that I feel is missing, but I know why they did it. I'm just not a huge fan of the way it goes down. I think it's too light on the slots.
Dan's almost at 100. Congrats, Dan.
I agree with you, Mike, about especially like with the it's no surprise. Everybody's got a backpack, 2, maybe 4 torches, 1 slot's filled with food. Everybody's got some spikes and a hammer. If you look at all the characters, their inventory is almost always exactly the same.
Right.
Whereas like an earlier D&D version, I happen to have some parchment and a quill and some ink with me. You're not going to find that in Shadow Dark. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, no, go ahead.
And then that's part of the inventory thing. Like I get it. I mean, but like again, like the Shadow Dark thing, that she tried to make it so that was, low maintenance or easy to
Right.
like figure
Quick
out
and
with
easy.
slots.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's kind of where you lose that with slots, is all that smaller stuff that you carry. And so, I don't know. I think some of that stuff is maybe negligible or not even on the list. But I mean, if you didn't have to put some of that stuff in a slot, I think it would be a lot better.
Well, I really like Castles and Crusades EV system. A lot of people don't like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I didn't mind it.
I'm the lunatic that goes over every single piece of inventory that I'm carrying, and I write the EV down. And at the end, I've got a total adjusted by my backpack and my strength and my constitution. I like that sort of thing. A lot of people don't. In fact, I think
Yeah.
I'm the only player in the group that
That was-
actively kept track of it. I
That
just
was
enjoyed it.
definitely a happy medium between slots and
Yeah.
keeping track of the weight of everything. I
If-
think they definitely did a really good job with that.
If there was anything I would
Um,
ever steal from Castles and Crusades, that might be one of them.
Cool.
I did
Uh,
like it. I like the fact that a backpack's got like 3 EV, right? But you could put,
It's like
20
8 or something.
20 EV or 10 EV
Yeah,
worth
right,
of stuff
right.
Yes.
inside
Oh,
the
right,
backpack,
yeah.
and it still only counts
Yeah.
as 3.
Yeah.
Edgelord says that George from Emperor's Choice is coming by. I don't know if he's visiting or something, but yeah, tell George that we all said,
Said
yeah,
hello.
what's
Peace and
up,
love.
and
Yeah.
hello, and that we love them, and we can't wait to have them on again and all that fun stuff.
hmm
Don't give them some Blantons. Let them leave sober, please.
Ease into the bland.
I
So,
swear I am staying
yeah.
overnight next year.
Yeah,
I missed out on a good time.
you missed
Not
all the
gonna
fun
happen.
stuff.
You guys brought up Castles and Crusades. I got a little funny story for you. I have an old player that used to be in my group, and he had a falling out with some old players that used to be in there, and he quit the group because of it. And he had been running 5e and some other stuff, and I kept inviting him back. Those guys are gone. If you want to come back, and his he quit his job. He's got a little hobby farm. He's got his mother who's got dementia living with her, and he's taking care of her. So he's like, I don't have time right now. He messaged me out of the blue the other day, started talking to me, and he goes, "Hey, have you ever heard of this game called Castles and Crusades?" He goes, "They just had a sale, and I just bought all their books. I was thinking about running it. What do you think?" And I said, "Well," I go, "enjoy it." I said, I showed him a picture of my bookshelf, and I go, "Yeah, this is the ones I still have after I sold off half of them." I said, "Yep, I played it for a couple of years. I've moved on." And I didn't really get into why. I mentioned something with the editing and whatnot. I said, but other than that, I'm like, it's not a bad game. I said, you got to decide for yourself if it works for you. But I think he wants to come back to our game, and he was like throwing that out there, like, "Hey, we could try this," and I'm like, "Nope."
Been there,
You've
done
been
that.
there, done that. Got the T-shirt. Yeah. Good times.
All I got was the T-shirt.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Definitely the inventory tracking, the EV thing is I think that's really the happy medium between slots and stuff. But like I said, I think I know, like Kelsey did that because of the slot thing, like to make it easier, because you don't want anybody having to do calculations. You know what I mean? Like that was her whole thing. Trying every time you pick up something. Oh, can I carry this sword? Like, hang on, let me redo this, thing, or figure this out, or you know what I mean? It's like, oh, do I have a slot free? Yeah, okay. I pick it up.
It is simple to figure out and alter on the fly or whatever you need to do.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like with like the quill and ink, the chalk, the string, the bell. I don't even know if any of that stuff is in there. Chalk dust. Like I none of that stuff is in Shadow Dark. I don't think.
I don't recall seeing anything in that.
And that's all the cool stuff.
Marbles or ball bearings.
Marbles or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Those are all cool. And those,
walrus.
I guess you could add those in and just have, and just say that they're free to carry. Yeah, that's what Edgelord was just saying. just say, okay, these don't take up a slot, or these items are like 4 to a slot or something, or you know what I mean, and that might encourage people to. But that makes things a little more complicated. Because now you're dividing an inventory slot into.
Yeah, but on the same token, you're turning around saying 100 coins takes up a slot.
Sure, right.
But if you're talking gold coins, 100 coins, like back then, I mean, we're talking coins that are the size of like pennies or whatever.
That's right.
I mean, they weren't big.
Right.
And 100 of them weighs nothing. I mean,
well, but in D&D, 10 of them weighs. I'm just saying, in Dungeons and Dragons, 10 of them weighs a pound.
Yeah, D&D's wrong.
It changes. That actually changes. That changes.
They're big coins.
It changes per edition too.
It does. Yeah. It does.
How much they weigh, what the coin values are.
Sure. Some of them are 1 ounce and 16 to a pound, and so. But but they're generally in D&D. They're generally bigger, way larger than they would have been in the real world.
Well, if you're going to award experience for treasure carried out of a dungeon, you have to restrict how much they can carry.
Yeah, sure. Sure, absolutely. It depends on where you are, Death Angel.
1 English pound.
If you're in pound. If you're in Troy, it weighs a Troy pound. Anywwer else, it just weighs a pound.
Is that Troy, New York? Is that Troy, New York?
Wrong.
Oh my God!
Troy, New York's got too much meth going on, so they actually weigh a pound and a quarter there. They don't know what they're doing.
Kind of like it's interesting. I mean, and that's something else too, right? That you're onto, Mike, is the coins and stuff. So in Shadow Dark, it's 200. You said 200 per slot.
100.
It's 100 per slot, but the first, the
first 100
is free.
First 100 is free, and then it's 100 coins per slot.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you play the published Shadow Dark stuff, they do not award a lot of gold.
Right. Right.
The numbers are like a tenth or less than what they would be in a D&D adventure. Yeah. In fact, they even recommend, if you're going to run like a BX adventure, cut that treasure by 1/10.
Yeah. Agile Monk chooses only to believe what is in AD&D First Edition. A man after my own heart.
That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, so that makes it matter a lot, But yeah, it's interesting, and I know like there's games like Torchbearer, which I absolutely hated. Like they have a slot inventory system, but everything was based on a roll. So like you would have a bag of copper coins would be 1 inventory slot, or 1 gold coin would be an inventory slot. And because they made the game like purposefully difficult to like, they wanted it to be like you're a nobody and you're gonna die and like it's terrible, and like way worse than the games that I run. I mean, it was like bad, and it was to the point where like you would spend that 1 gold, and that would give you like a +1 or a +2 to like your roll. So you would like go to town, and you'd go to like the inn and say, okay, I want to, we want room for the night and whatever, right? Like room for the night and, a meal, right? So you're not hungry and so you're not tired. And then you would roll like 2d6 and add, like, if people had 3 coins, you'd add like +3 to the roll. And if the DC or whatever was like 6, if you didn't make it, you would you not only lose the coins, but you don't get the thing you were trying for. And it's supposed to represent that you spent time and resources trying to get what you needed and didn't get it. So you were like out all night trying to find a place to eat and a place to sleep. And
Roger, I have to be honest with you. I didn't hear anything you said, because Edgelord is right about Ducato being right about Dan being right about Haboria. That is all that was going on in my head, man. I'm sorry. I get the premise of Torchbearer. It's not a game that I would ever want to play.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand it until I was like, oh, Torchbearer, you're the 0 level schmuck carrying the torch that's going to die.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
you're
but it's like
playing.
way worse than that. Like, because they designed the game in such a way to like, I don't. It seems to me like in order to make it difficult, instead of making it just like harder in the game, they just made the game mechanics harder
Yeah.
to
See,
like deal with.
and that
And it
goes back
just
to us. It just feels like, this game feels like I'm being abused. Why would I want to play this? I don't, it's not for me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, and I mean maybe it was the. I mean I've played it twice, and both times, I mean it could have been the GM.
Hmm.
I mean,
Don't know.
we'll see, but yeah. So I don't know, but no, I don't. I wasn't a big fan of that, of the system or anything like that. Yeah, yeah. Chthonic Musings says Torchbearer summarizes down to the grind. I cannot recommend. Yeah, Torchbearer needs to come with a 24 pack and 2 bins of those peanut butter filled pretzels. CNY3, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, the whole inventory management thing, that's it's interesting, right? Like, and I really still want to run a large game, not a large game, a long game that's um like a travel game where there's like a movable base or something like that.
Okay.
Possibly a ship, or I really want to use, Mike. I don't know if you've got one behind you there or anything.
That turtle.
That turtle with the town on its back.
So I actually started unpacking stuff, and
Yeah,
my way of unpacking it was like anything that's packaged in its own box, like the turtle, it's all wrapped up and in its box.
you just left
I,
it.
I taped it closed. I wrote what it was
Yeah.
on it, and it all went in the closet because my next convention is Page in January, and then after that it'll be back to you.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, I don't want to have to. I could put it on my shelf and be like, this one's mine, but then I got to make another one. I just packed it up and put it away. That's why you don't sell it. So you see this piece here? This piece
Yeah.
went with me to Page, and it went with me to Central New York, and I never had any interest in it, so it's officially mine now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to keep dragging things around, especially bigger pieces that are fragile and can break, and so that's mine. So I've got the whole, Stan's seen it. I've got the 3 trees that go with it. I've got all the there's like rope bridges that go between them that I never connected. It's all, at some point I'm going to set up a board and I'm going to permanently mount them all to it with the rope bridges and everything and make it a permanent set piece for one of my games.
Yeah.
Because,
Burning Wheel is like Torchbearer with more rules. I mean, it's made by the same people. It's like the next step in the thing. But I want to use the turtle, the giant turtle, as like a movable base.
well, if you had a convention game that you wanted to run and use that turtle, I would bring it.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it would work for a convention game. I don't know how to break it down, but like I want to do a hex crawl, right? But not just like where you're coming back to base, but like where you're trying to get across, like, I don't know, like an unexplored area or something like that, and have it so that the player characters can maybe move 4 or 5 hexes a day, right, to go to dungeons and stuff. And this turtle is like a portable base, right? Almost like a ship or something, right? And that can only move like 1 hex a day. So like every day they're moving deeper and deeper into the wilderness, and they can go out further and further. Because that's a problem with like the hex crawl games and stuff that I have now that I run, is players, even like once they get horses, they can go out so far, but then they still got to come back to base. So you got to have like other towns and things, or portals and methods of fast travel.
One thing I didn't get into, you saw, I don't know if you noticed, but I had a couple ships at CNY. But to actually paint them up and fully do them, you got to get wooden dowels for them. You got to get string to run the rigging. You got to get it all set up. And by the time you're done, you've got the ship that sits. You can't see my hand, but the ship that sits,
Yeah.
a foot and a half, 2 feet tall with all the rigging and the masts and everything. It's just impossible to bring it around to conventions to box it up if somebody wants it. So what I did was instead just brought unpainted ones with all of the pieces that go on the masts and for the rigging and everything in a baggie. So if somebody bought it, they've got everything they need. They just got to go buy the dowels and the string, and they'd have to set it up.
Yeah.
And I would give them directions because they have guides on printable scenery to do it. But
Sure.
what I didn't bring that I would like to start bringing, and these don't require all that stuff, is airships. Because they do have a handful of airships, and they don't have
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
sails and all that stuff. And so
Well,
those
some
would
of them do. I mean,
well, so like the
but you have the wings and stuff generally. Yeah.
yeah. So you have the dwarven one. The dwarven one is like a blimp. It's got a big balloon.
Yeah. Or a
above
blimp.
it.
Yeah. Sure.
I printed the original one. That balloon is solid, so it's heavy.
Oh my God. It's solid.
They went through and revised it, and now they have one where it's hollow. When you print it hollow and then piece it together. And I
Jesus.
really need to reprint that because man, that thing is heavy.
Man, it probably cuts the printing time down by.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I think if you glued that onto your ship, you could glue it on there and it would be nice and secure.
Be
But
top
you'd
heavy.
always run the risk of it being top heavy and breaking it. So
Yeah. Yeah, we Matt says, what do you guys think of the quantum inventory slots Forge in the Dark games use? You declare mundane items only when you actually need them, fill the slot, and that's like Blades in the Dark, Scum and Villainy. So I've played a handful of games of Blades in the Dark, and then I ran Scum and Villainy. I did a one shot, and I know like Jason wasn't a big fan of the quantum inventory slots. I don't know. I kind of like it. Like I liken it to like James Bond or whatever. Like in the James Bond movie, you have, Q in the beginning. That's like, oh, here's these, three crazy gadgets that you get. And then like at some point during the movie, like, he uses all of these gadgets. Right. And so like when you're playing an RPG, you don't get that because the GM can't hand out like I guess he could, right? Hand out these specific things and then the players figure out how to use them. Or like with the Forge in the Dark games, you just come up with that stuff, that you need on the fly and say, in a flashback, say, hey, I called this guy to bring this thing in, or this is an item that I packed or whatever. So I don't mind it so much. I think it's particular to the game, but that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that I didn't like it. It was totally different from anything that I had used.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, it seems kind of gimmicky, and you know how much I love a gimmick.
Sure.
And so I was like, I'm not really feeling this. But once we played it a little bit, and I started kind of experiencing how it actually worked, it wasn't that bad. I it was all right. It's part of the game.
Okay.
It wasn't a problem.
Yeah. What do you have you guys played any of the Forge in the Dark games, Scum and Villainy, or anything like that? Yeah. So basically, you pick in the beginning whether you want a light load, a medium, or heavy loadout, and so that basically is determined by what you want to do. Like if you want to go in stealthy, you want to carry a light load. If you want to go in, hard and heavy, you do a heavy load, or anywhere in between, you say medium load, and that gives you certain number of bubbles to fill in. So like a light load's 3, I believe a medium load's 5. So then like it's a little weird because say you get into combat, or like say you get to a door, right? And it's an electronic lock on the door, and basically you say, oh, it's a good thing I brought, my mini computer to plug into the thing to hack it. You know what I mean? My hacking computer, and you mark that off on your sheet. And so that's one of the inventory items that you had. It gets a little weird when you're talking about armor, because you don't pick that until basically you've been shot at.
Yeah.
So like in the middle of combat, people are shooting at you, and then that's when you decide, oh, well, I only put, my leather jacket on today, so it's 1 slot, or hey, I'm in full, my full vibranium armor or whatever, and that's 3 slots, but you get a higher protection value out of it, so it's kind of like quantum until it like happens, but it makes sure that you only have the things that you need. And it sort of settles that problem, like kind of Mike, like what you mentioned before about bringing in, all this cool stuff, the string, the marbles, and like all of that, where it's like, oh, like I really wish I had that right now, and so you don't have to carry 40 things. You could just say like, oh, this is the, like, I wish I had marbles, and boom, if you've got an inventory slot, you basically like, boom, I brought my marbles with me today, and you can use them. But it's a little wonky, I guess, to kind of you get your brain
I don't know
around
if I would
it.
like that.
It's
know if I would
definitely
like that.
interesting.
Oh, fuck is this?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, Into the Weird and Wild has quantum inventory supply rules. Yeah, loadout level gives you the number of slots. Each playbook has a list of items they can put in those slots. You don't declare what you have until you need it. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. There's also like the flashback mechanics. Like, I mean, the game is basically built for that. So so this way you don't have to do any planning. Like, that's the whole thing, is basically you're pulling a heist in the game. And so instead of planning stuff ahead of time, saying, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to go in here and use this over here and break into this, like, you kind of do it all like, boom, you're there. How do you guys want to go in? Stealthy or not? And, and then you just kind of go in, and then you kind of do flashbacks as you go, and like, I mean, if you get like, you're trying to rescue hostages, you're like you don't plan how you're going to get picked up or whatever later. You just like, you go in, and like, if you make it to the roof, you use like one of your, I forget what they call it. It's a flashback point or something, or you spend a point of stress. And it's like, oh, I called our helicopter guy to, pick us up on the roof. Or, if you end up on the ground floor, it's like, oh, they showed up in a van, or whatever. And you kind of do that as you're playing instead of having that plan ahead of time. Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely a little weird, but yeah, that's how it works. I don't know.
I had a good time playing it. I
Yeah.
very vaguely remember us playing Scum and Villainy. I remember it being a good time. So,
yeah. Well, that's because I was running it.
done.
I mean, I'm always,
It was a good time.
I know that I'm always a good time. That's why my phone number is written on all those bathroom stalls.
That's why Chubby Funster's coming to you when he comes.
That's why he's coming to me
For his bald service.
for his bald service.
Bald service.
He didn't quite say
Roger's
it, but
bald service.
he was looking for the happy ending.
So, but
That's a whole new channel. Roger's bald service.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I wouldn't want to do campaign play, with that. I mean, it might be fun to do a few.
Yeah, it was a good
like
work.
kind of
I
a few
definitely
chain
would
things.
not want it to be long term.
But more than that, yeah. Like, I mean, I think doing like maybe like 3 or 4 sessions or something could be fun. To just kind of do like an overarching thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not something that I think would work for me or for us, I think, long term.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike? You haven't really said anything on quantum inventory slots. What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
No.
I don't really have an opinion on it.
Pass.
I mean, I can imagine doing that in like Shadow Dark, right?
So-
where like you go in empty, and like the first time you take a swing at a bad guy, that's when you pick what weapon you have, and then
Here's how I handle inventory with my group. I mean, we play 2E, and there's no real, it comes down to encumbrances, weighing everything and all that shit. I don't get into all that. I tell them it's got to be within reason.
Yep.
If your
Yeah.
guy's got a couple days worth of rations, he's got a pouch of gold on him. He's got his thieves' tools. He's got whatever. He's got his
Sure.
couple torches. That's all reasonable. If the guy is like, oh, my fighter's got I've got my long sword on my side. I've got 2 axes on my back. I got 3 daggers. I've got a crossbow. No, fuck off. You're done. Get rid of all that shit. And I've told them before, when I've had some players do that, I'm like, all right, now you can sit down with the book and figure out the weights of all your stuff and what you can carry and do that. Oh, well, I got to figure out my encumbrance now? Well, yeah, because you can't be reasonable. You know, just use common sense on what you can carry, and it's not a big deal. We don't have to track it all.
Yeah, right.
You know?
No, I like, I don't know. I think it even Hyperborea says, like, I think it's just a blurb in there, right? Stan, I know you, where it just says, be reasonable about it. But
I mean, they
that's really
have
all he says about it, right?
some stuff. I mean, they talk about it. I was just figuring it out. Well, I'm like Mike. Like I actually was making Hyperborea pre-gen characters today, and I gave him equipment, but I gave him like the starter equipment. But I'm like, just be reasonable. Like, you know, I always use this example. Like my first experience with Shadowrun was one of the. I got brought into a long running group, and one of the guys was running around with like 2 Panther assault cannons on his back, and I'm like, what?
Right. But see, that's
Really?
that's like the problem where like I can't tell people to be reasonable, because I've got people like Jason will actually figure it out anyway, you know. But like literally, we had a player that is like they're out in the middle of the woods, right? And they're like try to bribe somebody, and I'm like, well, how much gold do you have on you? You know, and he's got like
50,000 gold pieces.
He's got like 80,000 gold. And I'm like, no, you don't. And he's like, and he's like showing me his character sheet. Like, no, look, it's right here. And I'm like, dude, where is it? Like, literally, you carried like the entire party's gold supply. Like, you're carrying it around with you, like in your backpack.
Yeah.
Like, I have a guy that seems to think every time they go to town, he can just automatically swap his gold for gems. And I'm like, where do you think this little podunk town has this cache of gems that they're, taking your gold for?
Yeah. So just for a little bit of clarification, Hyperborea, they do give items weight.
Yeah.
Like trying to find something cool here. A padlock and a key weighs like 1. I'm assuming that's 1 pound. Or,
I don't know.
I don't know how they. Like I said, I don't really.
Well, he's got like there's like a
it.
sentence about encumbrance in the book.
Well, he also has.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. It's really brief, and he's just be reasonable about it. So so that's why I can't tell people to be reasonable, because we talk about quantum inventory. Is that gold is quantum inventory gold? Because I guarantee if that guy got killed out in the wilderness, none of that stuff was on his person. It was all back at the safe house.
Yeah.
Every dollar of it. You know what I mean? Like,
there you go, Stan. Page 256.
Page 256.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
Yeah,
characters bearing weight of any sort are soon to be equipped with storage devices such as backpack pouches and sacks. Common sense should be exercised, and players must be realistic in the terms of what their characters can carry. When a character has exceeded a reasonable amount of personal gear, the referee may inform the player that their character is in one of the following states. You can be encumbered, -10 to your movement, -1 to your AC, or heavily encumbered, -20 to movement, -2 to AC.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. Just be reasonable.
It's like just be a reasonable human being, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But I just think that is just open for abuse, like that quantum stuff. Like I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not a hard and fast tracker of a gear, but like that's too vague for me.
It works, but yeah.
And I've never played them, so it probably very well does. But like you said, for like a long term, like I wouldn't use that in Castles and Crusades. I mean, I basically do, because like the 10th level thief in the party has a portable hole, so like he's got everything fucking kitchen sink in there. But which is fine. They don't abuse it. It's actually more a comedic value than anything else, because they'll throw something. They threw a magical anvil in there Saturday, and crushed the halfling's couch that he was stored in there, and he was all upset.
Halfling's
So-
couch.
So here's a funny thing. I wanted to see how they did it in the Rule Cyclopedia. And of course, I look to the index, and it says encumbrance, pages 63 and 88. There's no fucking page numbers in this book. None. I thought it was maybe that.
Oh, what the
Oh
fuck?
no, there they are. Oh my god!
They're
So look-
hidden. They're hidden.
Yeah, they're like.
Yeah.
Is that a
right
real-
there.
Is that the POD or is that the original?
This is a POD.
Hang on, because I got the original. I think.
I think it's the same one.
Remember where
Hidden within the
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I was looking at that not too long ago, and I'm like, where the hell are the page numbers? And it was like a Where's Waldo mission.
Yeah,
It was-
I
you had
didn't
to
even
find
Oh
it.
see
Jesus, you're not kidding, Mike.
I didn't even see them there.
Jesus.
So
Yeah.
this is 63 and 88, but I don't see anything on 63. Let's see what he has to say.
Encumbrance shows how much encumbrance the weapon has, measured in coin weight. One coin weight is 1/10 of a pound.
Where are
So
you
10
reading
coins
this?
to a pound. Page 63, bottom left.
How did I miss that?
Remember, the more encumbrance a character is carrying, the slower he moves.
Yeah, I
Right
know
to
like
the-
Dragon's
Oh, I
Slayer
see
tracks
it
it
there.
too. We were
Yeah, 10 coins to a pound.
Yeah. So every coin is 1/10 of a
some
pound.
big ass coins.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, coins, yeah.
What are they? What are they? Dinner plates?
Yeah.
Who minted those things?
Well, at that point, you
Giants.
might as well just carry platinum.
10 coins to
Yeah.
a pound. Yeah. Well, inflation.
Let's see how 3 does it. I never played 3.
I did, but I don't remember. It's
This
been so
this
long.
upsets
I
me.
played a lot of
I
3.
bought this thing back when it came out and never used it.
I
What
got the
happened to my
CD.
disc?
Man. Yeah, I don't remember the coin weight. I mean, it's pounds. I know that they use pounds for encumbrance, but I don't know.
Does this book not have an index? There's a table of contents index 283. So the index isn't in the back.
Yeah, it's before. There's a bunch of
Oh,
maps
I
and
see. Yeah, I
extra
see that.
stuff.
I
yeah.
just looked at an RPG book the other day. The index was in the front, and I was like, "What is this? Japanese
Yeah.
manga comic book? What is this thing? Like, this is nonsense. It's supposed to be in the back."
Encumbrance
I don't know.
141.
I want to say it was Draw Steel, but I could be wrong about that.
Oh, right.
But I was looking at it, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah,
this is
Eisenhower dollar coins about
this
20
is
a
my
pound.
this is my turn off. Reading pages with that background.
I didn't mind it.
I liked it back in the day. My blind ass. now
Shellback
figured
is saying page 25-ish, Mike.
It's page 141 is encumbrance
Hey.
and carry capacity.
All right. So he was close.
He might have a 3.5 book. This is 3.0.
Yeah, okay, that's 3.5, yeah. Well, he said ish. So
Yeah.
plus or minus 100 pages.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. Whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because they're like basically say wing it.
Yeah.
But then they go into if your character is weak and carrying a lot of gear, however, then you'll need to calculate encumbrance by weight.
Yeah.
So it's basically what I said, like be reasonable, but if you're going to go overboard, then we're going to start calculating.
And that was the problem I had is whenever I would tell people to be reasonable, there's at least one person that's like, I'm carrying 2 battle axes, 2 large crossbows, they're both at the ready. I got a backpack. I've got 3,000 coins. I've got, 50 rations. You know what I mean? It's just a whole list of stuff. And it's like,
Roger.
what is going on?
You're the GM. Be like, put your dick on the table because I'm about to slap it.
Sure.
Seriously,
No,
I mean,
that's what I would have to do.
yeah.
That's what I would have to do. And I did, but that was the reason why I was like, I'm going to wait,
That
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you have a talk with that player and be like, "Come on, man,
Yeah.
just be reasonable."
Yeah, the problem is like when you tell somebody like be reasonable, like they think like 40,000 coins. Like they're not smart enough. Like I think Jason knows who I'm talking about. But like 40,000 coins, like they're not like they're thinking, oh, 40,000 pennies, like that's nothing. That's a little sack. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's a, you know.
So, like, what's a battle axe weigh? I mean, where are they carrying all this? Like, oh, I got them strapped on my back. So you turn around and you go, okay, well, we got 2 battle axes and we got 2 crossbows and we got this and this and this. And just figure out average what they weigh and be like, all right, I'm going to grab a backpack and I'm going to throw 110 pounds in the thing. And that's just the weapons you're carrying and whatever else.
Yeah, walk up these stairs.
Your armor. Yeah, here's this. And that's only a part of what you're carrying. And now let's think, if you figure out your character sheet, you've got, 1.5 times that on you. Your guys barely moving.
Matt. Mouse Ritter. I forgot about that. That's amazing, Mike. I don't know if you've played Mouse Ritter.
No.
You're a little mice. You're a little mices. Mouse. You're a little mouse guy, like anthropomorphic mouse in the game. Mises. You're anthropomorphic Mises in the game, but you have weapons and stuff. And on your character sheet, there's a block and there's a bunch of squares. Like you have 6 squares. They're like 1-inch squares, and all the items are like a 1-inch square or 1 by 2 or 1 by 3 or whatever. And you physically like Tetris them into your inventory. And then as you get hit, as you get like damaged, it like can take away some of your item slots so you can carry less stuff. It's pretty cool.
The closest I
I've
ever
never
got to that.
played it. Crown and Skull does something like that too. Like as you take damage, it's not like hit points. You lose skills and equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never played that. Closest I ever got was Mice and Mystics.
Okay. Yeah. But that's cool because it's physical and it feels really cool. And I know it, and it's kind of like a it's not really a little kid's game because you can play it. People were running it at CNY, but I really like that. It's like it's really cool because you get like it's reminiscent of Shadow Dark, except like you're physically like putting the things in your inventory, and I don't know, it just has that tactile feel that's kind of cool.
Well, I think I'd be good at that game because I've got Tetris here.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I'm very good at Tetris.
Yeah.
George always gives me shit every time I go to a con because he's like, the way you pack your truck is like freaking Tetris. The amount of shit you manage to fit in there.
Like that's why you have the game, right? It saves on packing space. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Practice.
But yeah, and that was like George and Dave, like the same thing. They packed up their Jeep. They didn't no trailer.
I could not believe when I went out the back and he was putting a tarp on top of his Jeep, and I'm like, "This is what you guys are driving?" He goes, "Yeah, we got to put all the displays on top of the Jeep and tarp it up and drive it home." I'm like, "Oh my god,
crazy." Yeah, I don't know. Some of that I can understand. Some of that I really don't like. Like when you take damage, it goes up against your skills or like your slots stuff. Like I felt that way with it was one of the downsides to me of Cypher system. Because like you have your abilities, your 3 abilities, right? And those abilities you could spend points to add to your roll, right? Well, to basically lower the difficulty, right? But also those points are also your hit points. So your stat pool is like, everything. So like, and the first thing to drop is like your strength. So like you could be taken out like pretty quick. Like, I don't know. It's just not.
I've never played it. I think the books, I have like the basic versions of the books. I think they're cool looking books, and the setting and the narrative stuff in it is pretty cool. I've never had a chance.
Some of the settings are really cool. Numenera is an awesome setting. I love the Strange. Like that's an awesome setting. I really want to run that in something.
Yeah, the system though, like, isn't that the same thing like Old Gods of Appalachia used?
Yeah.
Yes. And I played that. I mean, the setting is awesome. That podcast is really good too. If you ever inspired it,
I listened to it.
You could have done the same thing with Call of Cthulhu. Like you could have done it with Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, but like the whole thing where you have this point pool, and those are your stats. They're also what you spend to reduce rolls. and they're also your hit points. And it's like you really have to weigh, like, if I spend 3 points to make this roll easier for me, like, it doesn't matter. Like, and now I get hit. Like, I have 3 less hit points now. Like, I'm that much closer to death, like, I don't know. It just doesn't, it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, I only played Old Gods once, and again, it was with a great game master. He's a Call of Cthulhu game master and stuff. So he really nailed like that part. The system. It didn't
Yeah.
inspire me to run out and buy the book.
Yeah. Yeah, but that, like you said, like Old Gods of Appalachia, or I have the other one that they just did, the Magnus Archive. Like that, I think you can do with Call of Cthulhu. Like, and I think you'd
Yeah,
be better
that
for
we
it.
can. Yep,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I got a question.
it is.
Yeah.
It is a cool setting, Dan.
So you know me with my obsession of getting these movies, right? Well,
Yeah.
Prime Deal started today, and I just saw they've got
Oh,
the
yeah.
Middle Earth 6 film collection, extended and theatrical release, $90.
Wow.
I might have to get that. I
Wow.
mean, the Lord of the Rings in 4K is 56 alone. So $90, including The Hobbit. The Hobbit's not as good in my opinion, but I would still get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
No, that's cool. I haven't. Yeah, I've tried to avoid the Prime Day deals.
The Bourne Complete Collection, $23 in 4K.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm going to spend too much money tonight.
Yeah, you probably are. Oh, first, George says hi. Hi, George.
Hey, George.
Hi,
I don't know
George.
if you can hear us, but hopefully you can. We love you guys. Shout out Emperor's Choice. They're fantastic. They always go all out, and hopefully George can hear this when I say it. But no, you're the first to see the new Arduin box set. You son of a bitch. So we got some things coming with George and Dave. Some cool
Did
stuff
you somehow think you were special and you were going to be first?
No,
He
no,
did
not
think
at all.
that, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm special. But no, there is going to be some stuff coming, some announcements that we're going to make with George and Dan at some point here in the future, sometime soon, probably the next couple weeks or something. But I gotta schedule that with them and get them on, and we'll do some stuff. So that'll be cool. So yeah, good times. Yeah, good, Dan. Then I probably won't find anything either. Yeah, it looked really cool on the website, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. I know they said they were going to do some deals for some backers, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah. What did I say? I said George and Dave, not George and Dan. Jesus, what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. So, yeah. Well, you know what? Shadow could have came to CNY. He could have taken the train out. It would have taken him probably like 40 hours to take the train from, I don't know where in California he is. I know he's California somewhere. I mean, he could pick up that, what is it? The Amtrak Zephyr. That'll get him to like Chicago or something. And then transfer trains and come all the way right to Utica, 10 minutes from the convention. It'd probably only take them 4 days, maybe 3 days. I don't know. It'd be a lot. Shadow's near San Diego. Yeah. I mean, that's probably a 50-hour train ride. Yeah, that's about what it takes to get me on a plane. So, Next time I got to fly, I'm going to talk to my doctor, and he's going to give me something amazing, and then and that's going to be that. So, yeah, good times. So yeah, cool times. What else we got for tracking stuff? Inventory, tracking, any of that stuff. Anybody got anything?
No, I think the consensus is don't do it.
Don't do it. Keep track of every single thing. I think, and I think it's been settled, right? But like, I think in certain games, like I like the idea of it in Forbidden Lands. Like everything works like that. It's built into the game in the way that it works. Yep. And I kind of like the idea of some of it. But yeah, for the most part, I think I would track things. So, but yeah, good times. All right. So that's fantastic. So I guess that's that. So thanks everybody for coming. What are we ending before the 3-hour mark? Holy cow.
Wow.
These things happen.
Dan's getting mad. Stupid restream is filtering. Yeah, well, I don't know why. I've got all the moderation turned off, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I'll have to figure that out. Get your booty on a plane and come to Arnicon. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Talk to me. So yeah. So thanks everybody for coming. We've had 0 watchers on Twitch, but that's okay. We only had one. We had that one spam comment about getting AI followers. So there we go. That about sums it up. Chthonic Musings. I agree with Roger. Jason was right the whole time. So yeah. Fantastic. So hey, thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you guys next week. And thanks. And we'll see you guys on the other side.
See y'all.
Take care, everybody.